Yeah, let's roll.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the loading screen. This is Phemeto and Jin Fury. We've got our first cast going out tonight, and we're probably going to just make something a little bit different than you're used to. We've got an idea on what we want to talk about, and we've got some runs that we want to break down and discuss, and more importantly, we're just looking for things that are pretty interesting in the Monster Hunter community right now. If any of you guys don't know who we are, I'm Jin Fury, and I'm here just basically to make you laugh a little bit and introduce you to a couple of things that are probably on the far side of some of the spectrum, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to my heterosexual life mate, Phemeto.
Okay. I'm gonna need to get more wine. I've been drinking so much, I'm almost done with my bottle already. I haven't even started. And yeah, we got a Momonga here. Obviously, you guys should hopefully you know who I am. It's gonna be on my YouTube channel. If you don't, well, fuck you. Anyway, so we got Momonga here as our special guest, and yeah, we're just gonna kind of, do our shit, talk about shit, and drink shit. So, anything you want to say, Momonga, before we start?
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Glad to talk about all the crazy shit you want to talk about. I'll think this will be a good show. I hope so. It'll be a blast to, get together, discuss some stuff. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we might as well just jump into this shit. Some of the things we want to talk about before we start going over runs that we want to talk about, because obviously we kind of focus on speedrunning on this side, but that's not the main topic of today. That's just kind of a fallback plan. First off, we want to talk about, because it's a hot topic, is Drunkbird in both casual and competitive play. And if you don't know what Drunkbird is, it should be pretty obvious what Drunkbird is. It's basically when you get randomly dropped off here, but your fucking bird's getting shot down out of the air or something. And it sucks, at least as far as speedrunners go, because it adds an extra layer of RNG on spawning into the game, because not only can you spawn at camp, but you can also spawn right in front of the monster, or you can spawn fucking halfway across the map on those awesome resource nodes that give you high rank materials for some fucking reason. So we'll go ahead and talk about that. So Momo, Jin, what do you guys have to think about Drunkbird?
Dude,
Well,
Drunkbird
first off, I think go ahead, Momo. Why don't you start us off, bro? Go ahead, knock us out, bro.
Thanks. Yeah, I fucking hate Drunkbird. There's no easy way to say it. Like, it doesn't matter if it's in casual play or if I'm trying to speedrun something. It just screws you over, right? Because if you have the chance to Drunkbird spawn in an area with a monster, right? You have to go for it because it's the faster way and it cuts a lot of time. And now that Drunkbird always either drops you off at that glorious mining spot or exactly where the monster is, it's now like worth farming for, right? So if you're doing something other than like arena quests, non-TA, you're basically forced to reset for the bird, right? And in casual play, I don't know, it just drops you off at the monster at the most random fucking moments when you're not prepared, right? You just came back from a quest, you want to do the quest again real quick, and you think, okay, I'll just restock in camp when the quest starts. You go into the quest, you drop in front of the monster, and you got nothing on your hands. And maybe you forgot to restock ammo or whatever, right?
Now, here's the funny thing about that is because I think the way Drunkbird is implemented is kind of poor, because they were supposed to make this game very casual friendly, and they wanted you to explore the environments. That's why they did the whole tracking thing and gave you your mounts, like your little critters that you can ride on and chase the monsters and do that stuff. But half the fucking time you get thrown right in front of the monster anyway, so it's like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah. Well, they had Drunkbird in Base World, right? But it was like...
It was
random.
way lower chance.
Yeah, and it was like not always... Was it always at the monster?
No, it was never. That was not a spawn option.
Right, so no point in going for that, usually, right?
Yeah. Well, there was a couple instances where it was faster, like I think was it Snow and Cherry Blossoms, or things where you wanted a pink Rathain out in Coral Highlands, or a Basil Goose, you'd want it.
Yeah, right. It had like its niche uses, I guess.
Yeah, but it was basically not really necessary, and so we just kind of started spawning from camps, and yeah, we just kind of ignored that part.
Yeah,
it wasn't necessary, but there were some cases where it was optimal. I mean, let's not forget about the Canta hunting horn run, right?
Okay, fair.
A lockdown of all lockdowns, like the unbeatable run. Let's touch on that. You know what I mean? So while it was not what it is in Iceborne, right? You're not stopping at the same location. It's not right in the monster's face, which we all think is optimal, especially when we're playing at the level that most of us are playing at, you know, who are listening to this kind of video. It's like, hey, how can we shave off microseconds, that kind of stuff. But back in the day, if it worked and you got the right spawn with it, I mean, it literally was unbeatable. That's what you talk about with the Kieran Canta run. It was so well done and so perfect that it was, I guess it would say it was the most optimal thing you could get, but you just were very unlikely to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a big fan of Drunkbird because here's why. Just like every other layer of RNG, crit, palico, size, HP, you know, all those type of things, it is another thing that, while it sucks to play with, right, and we all know it's the worst to deal with another layer of RNG, when you get it right, oh my god, it's so good. It is the best because you've knocked out another layer on top of 5 other ones that you weren't before. And I think we all agree that that's how you get to those high tier runs that are, you know, 15, 20 seconds ahead of everything that you didn't think possible. It's when just everything aligns properly. So although it's harder to get everything to, when it does, mwah, just perfect.
And I get that, and that's cool. I just think from both a casual perspective, one, there's no point to Drunkbird and casual play because you can just fucking fast travel.
Exactly, zero.
Now, and then from a more competitive standpoint, if we didn't have Drunkbird, yes, the hunts are going to be a little bit longer because you have to start from a camp or whatever and run out there. But that, again, is still one less element of RNG that you have to deal with. Now, for non-TA stuff, you know, bum's the word. You can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. If you want to use Drunkbird, go for it. But, like, I don't think they have TA rules improved yet, so I don't know if they're banning Drunkbird or not. But from a TA perspective, I don't want Drunkbird. I just don't want to have to grind for that extra element on top of doing TA shit. Because non-TA stuff, you can kind of lock stuff down pretty well. TA, it's not the same. And
well, I think you just nailed it right there. It's the difference versus TA versus non-TA. In a non-TA environment, you want as many variables that you can control and have them roll the right way for you. In a TA environment, it's more about you controlling everything else. You know what I'm saying? That might not make the most sense, but it kind of goes along with what you're touching at. You don't want something that you've got to deal with. You want something that's beneficial to you, and it just kind of rolls different ways for TA versus non-TA.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a non-TA runner, so I don't know. I just, from my perspective, I just hate Drunkbird. It's
you'd be good if you were a non-TA runner, though. You'd be the best, though. That's
I wouldn't. Yeah, like I'm gonna beat Sybil.
You're too scared. You're too scared. You don't want to make everyone else quit. That's the problem.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the reason why I don't do non-TA stuff is because I hate flipping through items. I hate setting up shit. I hate using items. I hate all that shit. I'd rather just not deal with it.
Sure, legit.
That's literally the only reason.
I think if you organize your inventory before the quest, you can save that in like the item loadout, and it will save the rearranged items.
Well,
like
yeah.
The order, so you don't have to go.
No, it's not like an annoyance kind of thing. It's just I don't like using items at all. In any game, I'm the person that plays like an RPG and I'll never use a fucking potion because fuck it.
Yeah.
If I needed a potion, I might as well do it until I don't need a potion, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
You saved your Phoenix Downs for the last level, you fucking loser.
I don't even use the Phoenix Downs. Like if my people die, fuck it.
God,
I'm just gonna go and restart. No items.
Jesus Christ.
It's like playing Final Fantasy VII. No items. Don't care. Just fuck it.
Who is this man?
I don't like items. That's just my thing. I don't like items. And I know it has nothing to do with Drunkbird, but that's just the reason why I don't play non-TA.
That kind of ties in.
All right. Any other thoughts on the drunk bird? Okay, so do you guys think it should be banned in TA, or do you guys just want to let that fly? Literally hat.
Well, I think we should definitely touch on that kind of discussion. I think the most common sense answer would be to ban it first TA for the TA rules. TA Wiki, like you just touched on earlier, is about just breaking it down and giving the player the option to show, hey, here's my demonstration of the weapon versus the monster's AI. And I think the idea of removing everything but that is the idea behind the TA Wiki rule set.
Yeah.
So I think it should be banned. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty perfect.
Okay.
I'd say. Like, I absolutely don't want to have Drunkbird in TA because
This gaming? You doing that thing at 9?
you just want to do the game, right? You want to play Hunter versus Monster. You don't want any outside stuff happening. You don't want the environment to interact with the hunt, right? And Drunkbird is kind of part of the environment, right?
Yeah.
So that also goes against the bird.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, Momo, do you do TA runs or do you non-TA runs?
I did both.
Okay. I don't
Um,
recall. Oh, I
Yeah, I know.
people switch all the time, so I can't keep up with everybody.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Wait, what run did you do? You do a Kieran Hammer run?
My most recent run was in base game. It was the Heavy Bowgun Basil capture.
Oh, you're running Ledge Light Bowgun. Okay, I'll get back to that later. But I was just like, does that work in Iceborne? I thought they kind of canceled that shit.
They might have.
Yeah, I don't know. I've tried to do it on the Guiding Lands ledge on the Coral Highlands region, and it seems like the getting up takes longer now.
Yeah, that's what I
Like,
thought
it
too.
could-
Like trying
it could
to
be-
keep it
could
going.
be
It's not
the
as
ledge.
fast at all.
Yeah, it could be the ledge. Like the ledges don't work as well because of the areas. Like I haven't tested it in the training area or in the old maps yet. So
I did it in the training area. That was one of the first things I tested when Iceborne hit, and it just felt super weird. Granted, I was never good at it. I never really tried it. I'm not like fucking TSC spending weeks
yeah,
doing it.
TSC did it in the beta, so it worked in the beta version of the game.
In the beta of the version game, we had rapid fire recoil 1 elemental bowguns too.
Don't worry,
Good
they will
point.
be back.
Right.
A lot of depression in base world. A lot of depression.
All right. So what is everyone's thoughts on the clutch claw, everyone's favorite tool?
I think people need to get over it and just be done with it. I mean, it's in the game, and the idea that you want to go negative, positive, whatever, and make it think that it's going to dictate, your fun level, that's just absurd. Like, let's just play the game. It's here, and if you don't want to use it, don't use it. If you don't want to use it, then fucking use it. I mean, who cares? Play the fucking game.
Well, I don't know. Like, I think it's important to ask these questions on new mechanics that are introduced to the series because, after all, at least that's what I hope. Capcom listens to this stuff, right? They see what the community says about certain things, and if they see a lot of people saying, "Oh, I don't enjoy the game anymore because this and that was added or was cut out or whatever," right? They will react to that. They will consider re-adding it in the next game or cutting the feature they added from future titles, right? So it's important to address these things.
Well, and I know
Sure.
Capcom does listen to some degree because they nerfed Ancient Lesson because everyone bitched about it. So
Yeah.
clearly they listen to some stuff that goes on. And I don't know how much of the claw feedback they hear about. Because honestly, I think most of the crap they hear is probably negative. More people talk negatives than positives. Like, no one's going to hype up something that everyone already knows is fine. I don't know. It's just, it seems weird.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the thing with most game devs nowadays is they just hear shit constantly. So trying to
Yeah.
filter out what's actual constructive criticism might be a little hard. But they are changing the claw because they didn't mention that, and like one of the future updates are gonna fix claw like not attaching properly and being all fucking weird. But do you guys think that's actually going to improve the game, or are people still going to bitch about claw functions? Well, again,
People will still complain. People will still complain. They're going to complain no matter what, because that's just the way that things work in kind of life. It's not a knock on anybody. It's just, if something's not going to make something easy, or it's not the way you want, you're going to be upset with it.
You can never make it right for everybody.
Bingo.
Right. Okay, that's fair. But do you think that them adjusting the claw is actually going to make it better, or do you think they're going to make it worse?
Yeah, I think that's gonna work for the better, right? If they actually fix the problems that are like, oh, you hit the monster's head, well, too bad, you're going to the left foot, right? If that stops to happen, then you can control the claw more, and it obviously feels more natural, right?
That's not what people are
flow.
complaining about, though. People are complaining about having to use it, period. Like, you've got the complaints about, hey, sometimes I shoot the chest and I hit the head. But that's not what people are upset about. They're upset they have to use the thing. And let's talk about who's really complaining.
Okay.
Who is complaining about having to use Clutch Claw? Who are the people that are complaining?
All the light weapons. Basically, it's all the light weapons. Except bow. Bow,
Okay.
for whatever reason, does just fine. It works with claw really well. I don't know why.
Sure.
But every other light weapon is a huge fucking pain in the ass. Because here's the thing. Yes, it does take 2 claw attacks to tenderize a zone, or like 3 claw swipes and an attack. And that's not the problem, though, because everyone can start off with a tenderized zone. It's reapplying it. You do have to do it twice to reapply it. If you lose your zone and you do your clagger and you get your claw attack off, that doesn't reapply it. You have to do it twice again to keep it going. And that's what slows down all light weapons right now.
Yeah, I think it's unfair to have the difference between light and heavy, because by what you just said, it automatically slows it down. There is no benefit to being a light weapon versus a heavy weapon. There's none. There is literally zero. And for some of them, it doesn't even make sense. Like, Gunlance, am I right on that? Is Gunlance a light weapon?
Yeah, because it needs the pods to load its wyvern stake.
How does that make sense? The heaviest thing you can imagine, a sword with a fucking gun attached, and it's light? Like, I don't even know what that definition means, light versus heavy, anymore. It doesn't make any sense. I think, God damn, I can't even get over that. How is Gunlance fucking light? Are you kidding me? Like, hold on, just stop it for a minute. Gunlance, like, go look at the animation Phemeto. Pull up a video of, a dude swinging a fucking Gunlance while we're talking right here, please.
Oh, I do actually have a Gunlance video. That was one of the ones I wanted to look at.
And let's just talk about how big this weapon is, like, in sheer definition of size and animation. You're like, all right, well, you got dual blades, light, obviously, right? Bow, things big. Some of the bows are just bigger than the character too. I get it, whatever. But then you look at stuff like this. How could you figure Gunlance is light? It's literally the biggest weapon. I think it's bigger than Greatsword, isn't it? It's definitely bigger than everything else.
It's pretty big. Ox had a really good Gunlance run on Acidic Lab, which is what I pulled up. And I think it does demonstrate a really good lance play. I mean, it's non-TA, but it's still really fucking good. But yeah, like, you could see Gunlance's attacks.
What a dig on non-TA, ass. What a dig. What a dig.
Dude, I mean, could you imagine TA Gunlance? That's some slow fucking shit. So, I mean, the time's really good, but it is non-TA.
You can't butt plug with TA, right? You can't butt plug?
So that's one of the things that we kind of, I think a lot of people agree upon, is that Insect Glaive and Gunlance should be able to butt plug. Use whoever Slinger ammo to get better.
Insect Glaive should be able to use Rocksteady Mantle with how fucked up that weapon is. I'll just call that out right now. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I just realized.
That should be allowed Rocksteady Mantle for TA. Insect fucking Glaive. It is the hunting horn of Iceborne. God damn, I feel bad for the 17 fucking Insect Glaive players worldwide.
Okay, you know what? Here's how bad Gunlance claw attack is I just realized Ox's attack run doesn't use it at all. He picked up stones in the beginning to get the wyvern stake, and every time he gets a clagger, he's just like, fuck it, just keep shelling. Because
not my thing, not for me, huh? Not for me, homie. I'm good on that one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever. I guess Gunlance can just spam shells because it's all fixed damage anyways.
I was gonna say,
sure.
He doesn't need to tenderize. He's ignoring the hit zones.
I mean, I guess that does make more sense on why Gunlance is light, because you don't fucking need it at all.
Yeah.
There's no weapon that should be penalized for doing the same thing another weapon does. And unfortunately, that's the way that they've got it set up with light versus heavy. In theory, if this game was more balanced around speedrunning, which it's clearly fucking not in any way.
Well, sorry, I want to kind of
That's why they would do something like that.
Just a second there. I think this game is intentionally made against speedrunning. With how many extra variables they added and how many quests don't have actual optionals, I don't think they want people speedrunning outside of like the arena or tournament setting stuff.
They 100% don't, because we had what someone said from the team from Capcom that they expected runs to be like 10 to 15 minutes, and we're beating the shit out of those runs. So yeah, no, they did not plan for this at all, man. Like, they didn't even come close to it. They're like, oh, well, you might get, 10-minute runs, whatever. And unfortunately, that's not even close, man. Not even close.
Oh, can you imagine when PC comes out, we're going to crush things sub 2 on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin. Once you can make things small, and we can touch on that too and talk about, at least in my opinion, the biggest problem with this game. People are going to complain about weapons. They're going to complain about, everything else, clutch claw. The biggest issue in this game right now for me, and I think if a casual player knew the problem, they would agree it's what it is. For a speedrunner versus a casual player, the biggest problem in this entire game is the size RNG. More than the HP, more than anything, size in this game dictates your runs. And here's what I mean. So if you're a casual player and you're running dual blades and you're trying to hit Kieran in the face, basic concept, I should probably hit him in the head, do the most damage. Size RNG stops that right away for the basic guy. On the same token, for someone who's trying to do it at a higher level for speedrunning or whatever term you want to call it, it's also the biggest issue, because if you can't hit that target zone with how clutch claw is now basically the most important thing, you're kind of out of luck. And unfortunately, 1,500 hit points on, a weakener or a low HP roll versus being able to hit that sweet spot nonstop for the entire fight. That's the big concern for me across the board, whether you're casual or whether you're a speedrunner. If you can't hit the body part that you're trying to set up for, like you're playing the damn game to, create a strategy, unless you're just kind of running at it buck wild and you can't get anything from it. That's kind of my concern on it.
Have you guys seen Gold Crown Nargacuga?
The big one?
Yeah.
It's gigantic, dude. It's like half the arena.
It fucking jumps all over the place. Have you tried hitting that thing like in any sensible fashion? It's impossible.
It's not even worth trying. When you see Big Narga, you just stop.
I will admit he is when you're doing him from the ledge and he jumps up and he literally is bigger than the entire arena. Yeah, it's pretty fucked, dude. Like
Funny.
Is there like an error with the game? Like, and he's coded to just be bigger than everything? Because honest to God, I don't think I've seen another creature take up the entire screen. Like, when has it?
Well, and what's
like,
crazy is that
huge.
Old Nargacuga was pretty small. If you look at the other Monster Hunter games, he's not that big. But also, like Zidogre, they made Monsters in World really big. Like, really big.
The good graphics.
Yeah, it's good graphics.
They can.
Well, I mean, some
better.
stuff feels fine. Like Joe feels fine. He's a big monster, whatever.
Yeah.
But like Kieran is way bigger now too. Like a good sized Kieran, not even Gold Crown, just like above average Kieran. It's a big ass fucking horse.
Dude, there were big horses in Freedom Unite too.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess the
there was,
sense of
like,
scale is a little weird in World.
There was like an event quest that had.
Okay, but that is an artificially created horse, because event quest can be anything.
It wasn't giant. It was one bigger one, one smaller one.
I'll have to see how big that crown is compared to normal monsters, because yeah, like event quests, you gotta have some questionable sizes in there.
Yeah. Maybe it's just scale.
Can Narg jump out of pitfalls or shock traps right away? I can't remember.
Pitfalls. I think it's like Rajang, where... No, wait.
When he's enraged, he jumps out of pitfalls.
Yeah.
He doesn't go into
Yeah,
them.
it's flip of Rajang. Yeah.
So at the beginning, if I wanted to trap him, I should just watch my fucking run. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I have it on here. Let me go ahead and put it up.
You can put a pitfall, then hit him, enrage, and then shock. Because the
Yeah, so
I
yeah,
think
you can
if
pitfall when
you-
he's
if you
non-enraged.
If you flash him, I think pitfall works, right?
I don't know if you flash him and it works. I don't know. Nargacuga's weird. Nargacuga, Garuga, and Raj. Well, Rajang's
It's
easy to
shock trap.
understand.
It's shock trap to start. My bad.
So he does break out of pitfall when non-enraged.
Not enraged. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then he is just like Rajang. So if they're
Yeah,
enraged, you
and-
can pitfall them.
I got a new setup where I can get another 5% damage out on this motherfucker, so I think I can get it. I'll do that in the background while
If you get better than a 158, you will beat Heavy Bowgun. That's one of the things I actually wanted to talk about. Is Aerial Hammer is fucking insane, because Aerial Hammer, as much as I wouldn't call it a meme because it is optimal play for Hammer, but
Absolutely.
it is literally competing with non-TA glutton runs. Like, Jin's only 2 seconds off of the Heavy Bowgun time, and I mean, if you can get 5% faster, that's gonna beat it for sure. Aerial Hammer is fucking crazy, and I don't know if it's just because they buffed Airborne or because that on top of Frostcraft, but you're pounding monsters for 800 damage a swing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Frostcraft definitely helps a lot with like the natural flow of Aerial Hammer with all the mounts, right? So you can recharge Frostcraft to stay at high levels.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Well, I
Hammer's
think that's the
nuts.
biggest thing for aerial hammers. So you look at Frostcraft, right? By sheer definition and how the set bonus works, aerial hammer is so synergized with it. The idea of just pulling your weapon away to either change mantle or drop a trap down, or even, I don't know, maybe even throw a flash bot or something, against like Velkana, or do whatever you're doing. It makes sense. So it synergizes so well. I'm not sure if Aerial Hammer is broken or the Velk bonus, because we really haven't seen a lot of weapons explore the Velk bonus yet. And I'm a layman. I wouldn't be able to explain like how to use it on another weapon. But I still think there might be some opportunities there, and it might be the Velk bonus versus the Hammer. The Hammer's great. But realistically, I've seen a lot of runs from like, Peppo or even, Hybris or Parallax that are arguably close to or as fast as, some of the aerial hammer runs. And the ground damage for Hammer is very, very strong. It's massively, massively higher than it was because of just how positioning works and how monsters stay down right now.
Well, Ground Hammer has the awesome clutch lead in because Ryozo loves his hammer.
It's so good. It's literally the only lead into the game that's good.
And Hammer has the best clutch claw
lead-in.
attack easily.
Yeah.
Hammer is the most broken weapon in the game outside of HBG. I don't think that you'd argue that any weapon's really broken outside of HBG, bow, or hammer.
Okay, it's not Heavy Bowgun. It's Glutton specifically.
Yeah.
It's specifically Glutton. It's an anomaly. I don't know why they gave us a second one. I didn't think they were going to.
We had that talk day one when we were doing the fucking video, brother. We were like, they're not. And then we were like, why is this in the game?
Yeah.
Dude, I knew it from the start. I was saying this before Iceborne came out. I was saying they're gonna add Razor Sharp, Spare Shot Charm, and they're gonna give us better Glutton.
I didn't
And they
think
fucking
either
did.
of those would be the case. Yeah, and then I knew as soon as they showed off like all the weapon stuff changes, like those little short videos, and they showed the scope for Heavy Bowgun, I was like, oh shit, here we go.
Dude, once we saw the scope, we knew it was over. I remember talking to you, I was like, okay, so that's gonna be the best thing ever forever. Like, how are you gonna just be like, hey, here's an evasion mantle that has 100% uptime? Like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Crazy. I don't know where we're originally starting with this, but I gotta get more wine. I'm gonna let you guys talk about one other thing while I grab some more wine. Our next topic was the potential of AT Arc-Tempered monsters in Master Rank. Do you even want them? How crazy would they fucking be? And I mean, God, I don't know. So yeah, let me go get wine. You guys discuss that really quick.
All right. Okay, so do you have an opinion on that, Jin?
My bad, dude. I was drunk and I just hit Nargacuga. What's the question?
Okay, so you wanted to discuss the potential arc-tempered monsters that are coming to Iceborne. Like, do you even want arc-tempered monsters? And if so, how would you want them to be?
Oh shit. Okay, my bad. Hold up. Let me click that fucking thing. All right. So potential 18s. So with the original ATs, I think we got kind of hosed. I think everybody knows that it was basically one more new move plus some additional kind of threshold something. Since then, we've kind of evolved into the master rank, and I think that's what ATs were supposed to be. You're looking at different skill sets. You're looking at different skill sets required to beat them. You're looking at different move sets from the creature itself. Oh, 1 second. Hold on. Let me shut my door. Sweet dude. It don't matter, bro. We can edit all this shit out. Don't worry about it.
It's all right.
No, my daughter just being so fucking cute.
Dude, I was at pre-wedding dinner for my sister's wedding today,
Okay.
and my niece she's like only 2 years old, but she grows up so quick. She already talks like really well, and she was when I saw her, she was like, "Oh, uncle, come here, I love you," and she was so cute, dude.
That's awesome, bro. Good for you. Respect.
Okay, so
All right, so let's talk about what would you want to see in an AT. So if you had an opportunity to remake AT-TO, how would you want it to be? What would you want the most difficult Teostra to be? I think that's the real question, because when you talk about arch-tempered or whatever it's supposed to be, it's really supposed to be the top tier, right? So in an AT, you're going to want something that's different, something that's more difficult, something that's basically going to be outside the norm of what you have. Now, that's probably not going to happen in this game. I don't know how they're going to code something that way. So what is something realistic that we could get? Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I think the most important thing, and this is how I don't understand it, why it's the exact opposite. If you're going to do an AT monster, why the hell are we fighting him in the same goddamn place we fight the regular one? That is the most ignorant shit I have ever seen since fucking 1842. Well, I don't even know where the fuck this shit begins from. But
where else would you want to fight it?
Anywhere. Literally anywhere. Put it in a fucking Ja Rule concert. I don't care where there's like nobody. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, don't put it in the same spot. Because all I'm going to do is do the same shit and adjust it to what it is. The AT Kushala fight was literally the worst thing in the game. They couldn't have done anything worse. They were like, well, we'll give him a bigger stagger threshold. Okay. And what else? Nothing. He's going to sit outside camp 8 and you can just kind of rape his face. Oh, great. So no ingenuity there. Awesome. Excellent. I think that is by far the biggest thing. You know, you can argue about, I want a different move. I want a different stagger, thresh point, HP, animation, whatever. Just get him out of the fucking area, so you gotta figure out some new shit. Move him to a different spot, and something that doesn't make sense. Put AT Kushala in Ancient Forest or Coral Reef or whatever. Make it so it's difficult. So you're like, wow, I did not expect this. Because is there some lore that some people are holding on to, like, oh, you gotta fight AT Kushala outside Elder Recess or outside camping? I fucking hope not. I hope people aren't that upset. I hope people want the real game.
Okay,
you know, something that's enjoyable.
I want to stop you there because that did actually pique my interest.
Right?
I don't know what you guys said before, but if they do end up adding ATs, which I don't want, because all they did previously was triple their HP and triple their stagger values, and that was it. And if they do that with what we have is like 30k HP monsters, could you imagine what fucking stats and staggers are going to be like?
Horrible.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
But if they do, I would like to see them actually introduce their environmental calamities, which is what they're known for. I want to see Kushala bring in rainstorms and hailstorms and like, yeah, the skies turn gray when Kushala shows up and sometimes it's raining, but I want to see it like fucking tornadoes are spawning across the whole map. I want to see ice shards raining from the sky. For Teostra, I want to see it rain fire. I want to see parts of the map just covered in fire patches. I want shit like that.
You want them to feel like look, when you look at the monsters, what's it called? Like the ecology, right? How they are supposed to live in that world. You can see that the Elder Dragons are always catastrophic things, right? I clearly remember in the old games, it said that Teostra is so dangerous. It is constantly monitored by the guild to like where it's moving, right? So the normal monsters kind of don't feel that way, right? You don't have this natural disaster in front of you when you fight the normal Teostra. So I wish when they made Arc-Tempered monsters, they would kind of focus on this disaster aspect, right? So that you maybe have a more scary looking Teostra. Maybe it's damaged, so you can see, okay, it's been alive for a long time. This is one of the dangerous Teostras.
Kind of like the jump between Garuga and Scarred Garuga.
Right. It's like same monster but different, but still same.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I think that's kind of what we all want. We just want not the same fight. And I get that the base world AT monsters had like 1, maybe 2 extra moves, but it's not like it's like they didn't change the fight. It's the same fight.
It wasn't a new fight. It was the same fight but 2 new moves or 1 new move, right?
Yeah.
And
So,
that's...
would you guys even want AT monsters to return?
Yes, I want a more difficult version of monsters to return.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I'd like to see Arc-Tempered monsters return, but like I said, I hope they can make them a bit more special and feel less like bullshit when you're fighting them, right? So the first time I fought Arc-Tempered Valhazak, I didn't spoil myself with anything. I didn't know anything.
Okay,
about
let me
the fight.
stop you there. You just said
I ran
Arc-Tempered
into that
Valhazak.
You know what I'm saying, right? That shit's like...
You're not... Okay, did
if
you do it
that's
as a
gonna be
gunner?
Arc-Tempered, I don't want it. I don't want Master Rank Arc-Tempered Teostra to just burn me when I get too close. Or constantly
He's from
burn me.
the Tony Hawk drift? I thought that was his problem. Then again, I don't remember.
Could you imagine Arc-Tempered, whatever Death Spore Cloud Valhazak is called? Where he's got like that aura that just fucking drains your life, and then all he does is scoot back and spray more clouds.
Yeah, if I don't want that, they
be
can
the
put
best
that
fight.
into whatever other game, but not into this game, please.
Alright.
But speaking of Valhazak, there's this Resident Evil collaboration coming out soon.
That was another point I wanted to talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really
What's
excited
actually
for that.
coming with it?
From the trailer, it looked like there was layered armor coming,
Okay.
as well as a new like running animation.
It looks like it's an emote that pushes you
Yeah.
forward, like the zombie emote.
Yeah.
And you could just fucking tank attacks with it, it looks like. Like,
No shit.
no, you haven't seen it, Jin? You should check it out. I'm actually playing it right now. I have the link in the thing. But basically, yeah, there's like a zombie emote that's a part of it, and it kind of like zombie walks you forward, and like, I wouldn't say walk, it runs you forward. And
Yeah.
you see the hunters all getting hit by attacks as they're doing it, and they're just fucking running through it. They don't give no fucks.
Okay,
So-
I can get behind that.
Could you imagine, like, if you could do that in the middle of a run, you just quick whatever radio menu into the emote to run through and plow through an attack?
Yeah, imagine you can. Yeah, it could be interesting. If
I
it
don't-
gave you super armor, you could super armor through. Maybe you can move through monsters' roars with the emote.
Oh yeah.
That could
Oh,
work.
I
That
don't
would be
know.
some
I want to see how that
great
actually
shit.
works in game, because that looks crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, the whole Resident Evil thing, it doesn't look like we're getting weapons. It looks like we're just getting layered armors, and then like the zombie emotes, and it looks like a zombie skin color. We're not going to talk about the handler. Just push that one aside.
Why are we? Hold up. Why are we not talking about? That's the out of the entire fucking ensemble.
It's yeah. Okay, I'm happy Capcom did it because like Monster Hunter World's been so about like being serious. They haven't done any like goofy weapons and crap like that for the most part.
You realize they gave us like 2 ducks for like fucking dual blades?
The chicken legs don't count. They were serious about that.
They weren't even chicken legs. They were like ducks, dude. They weren't even chicken.
What are they called? The birds. The rare
Was that in base game or Iceborne?
Base game.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know dual blade shit.
Not like it matters.
Okay, but for the most part,
Yeah,
for the most part though, like, because all the games they had a shit ton of like just goofy skins and armors and weapons and shit. They didn't have that so much in World. I think they're trying to be more serious about it, and I'm kind of happy that they kind of strayed away from that and they have a bunch of this weird crap because that's kind of what Monster Hunter is really known for.
Yeah, I love the goofy side of Monster Hunter a lot. In old games, there were always like these really funny weapons, right? That made you laugh the first time you saw them. There was like a teddy bear hammer in the first Monster Hunter games.
The
that had sleep
hammer.
element.
It's just a big fucking
the
pile
hammer
of meat.
hams. It was actually quite an alright hammer. It had a lot of attack, but shit sharpness.
Really? The pile of meat had bad sharpness, huh?
Yeah. Who would have thought?
I wish I had
was
my fishbone harp.
I think it was in 4 Ultimate, or 3 Ultimate. Or was it just Monster Hunter Try? There was this shark gunlance that had like
Bro,
no
you got
swimming
iron
No,
in the background?
It's not a gun lance. It's just a lance. The shark attack.
You got an iron in the back? What is that?
Do you mean this?
Yeah,
thing?
dude, what are you doing? What is that?
That's clothing drying rack.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Jen, he's not from America. Don't question it.
Dude, I don't know, man. I'm curious. Other cultures, I'm interested. Let me know. So
Okay,
you guys
so
just
in case
do it at home, huh?
you
Do
don't
it big.
know
Do it
how
big.
we wash our clothes in the washing machine, and then we take them out, and then we hang them on this rack to dry.
No, we do that in America, man. Laundry's okay.
Yeah.
I
So all right, okay.
Okay. I don't know where the fuck you were going with that, but all right.
Dude, I'm curious on why it's in the house. That's where I'm at. Like, I can't tell what that is.
Okay, Jen. People don't have like lawns in a lot of other countries. I mean, I'm sure they do, but they don't.
Either. I don't have shit. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I live in a small, dumpy ass house.
I'm just saying, like, mostly American that hangs their clothes out to dry is like hung up in a backyard where they actually have
Yeah.
space to do it. A lot of people actually dry clothes inside.
Wait, is that what that is? That's drying?
That's exactly what he said. He just told you like 4 seconds ago.
Oh, pardon me for being 9 White Claws in and not fucking said. Dear fucking Christ. Oh my fucking God. Now I get it. Now I understand, man. That's what I'm saying. I don't fucking know. I'm trying to learn about this shit. Sabel's got his roof falling in. He don't even show up tonight. This guy's got his clothes being dried. I'm just trying to figure shit out. Like, fuck. I'm American. Come on, help me out.
Sorry, I'm not as wealthy. I don't have a yard to dry.
Dude, I'm poor as shit. Look at me. I got fucking. Dude, I stole this shirt from a hobo. It ain't about that, dude. I'm just trying to understand other people's cultures.
Yeah.
Phemeto, unfortunately, is way more cultured than I ever will. Phemeto, tell me when I tried sushi with you and you looked at me like, I never want to talk to this guy again. Phemeto has never been more. Phemeto, I'll tell you guys right now, Phemeto really likes me. I'm one of the only people, and I don't care if anybody says, he really enjoys talking to me. It's why he does in the private conversation. But I have never offended anybody like I offended Phemeto when I was eating fucking sushi. Let me tell you guys right now.
He picks it up with his bare fucking hands. Who does that?
Do you remember I drank a thing that said, hey, this is a serving for 60 people for tea? And I grabbed the motherfucker and drank the entire thing? And I was like, okay, here
let
we
me
go.
tell you about Jin over here. Grabs a vial of like mix. And like it's like
definitely a
serve
vial,
60.
Like a vial. It was
yeah,
like, don't
like
drink
I kid you
more
not,
than
it was like
something.
8 ounces or something. And he's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just pour it in my Coke or something. It was more tea mix and soda at that point, and he just fucking pounds it. I'm like, dude.
It was good. It was good. It was good. Unfortunately, it led to me eating sushi with my bare hands and Phemeto basically disowning me as a friend for about 6 hours, which, again, I can't blame him for me. If you guys would have seen the way I was eating here, hold on, let me just stop the convo here. So this is how I was eating. If you can imagine the table, you got the sushi here. I basically went, here's the chopsticks in my hand. I threw them to the side, just threw them away. And I just reached my hand over like this, and I was grabbing fistfuls of fish and rice combined. I don't mean like I was grabbing one at a time. I mean like they were watching me, and like the conversation would fucking stop as I just pawed like 3 of them. Now here's the thing. They were really fucking good, and I couldn't stop.
Yeah,
That's
he
the
ordered
problem.
like fucking 3 orders. It was like 36
It was unlimited.
shrimp
It was
nigiri.
unlimited.
Yeah, okay.
Unlimited, bare-handed
To be
sushi.
fair, we
All the
were having
bare-handed
unlimited sushi, but he just like 3 servings. He was just fucking handfulling it into his mouth nonstop.
Look, let's leave it at this. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Phemeto was sitting on his cloud of judgment, handing out lifeline to all the sinners named Jin beneath him. And I was put in my place that day, and we'll just leave it alone. I'll never do it again. I now understand that if I can't abide by sushi rules, then I'll walk by it. But until then, we can get back into the speed runs. But I think that'll be a nice little side conversation.
Okay. What else was to talk about? Oh,
That sushi
okay.
was really good. It was really good.
It was pretty good sushi. I did not complain at all. So I kind of want to mix these other 2 points, and that is the 15th anniversary size comparison video people did, because for whatever reason, everyone thinks that we're gonna get Fatalis out of that, and then also the potential for a new siege monster to get upgraded Kultaroth weapons, because Capcom had
Orochi
mentioned
Kirin, yeah!
as a
bring it
siege
on!
monster. Come on, no.
Orochi!
Okay, so first off, do you guys think there's any merit to the whole Fatalis thing from the 15th anniversary video?
I'll say yes and no. I don't
way
think...
to ride the fence there, buddy. Way to ride the fence. Real definitive. Nicely done. Nicely done, Momo.
Well,
smooth.
Let me explain. I don't think them showing Fatalis in that anniversary video proves anything, right? Because
Agreed.
like Yakros is also in there, Valstrax is in there.
Booster
right?
Burb!
There's other monsters in there that are not in Monster Hunter World and are not likely to be there, right? So that's just another monster that's in that video. It's an important monster, and that's why it's in there together with all the flagship monsters, right? Because it's an OG monster. It's not like the others. So that's why it's in that video. It doesn't say, okay, we're getting Fatalis. But it's not a valid argument from just that. But I think because the community might react to this very, very heavily, like people could ask for Fatalis loudly, I guess. And if there's enough people crying for Fatalis, I think it's possible they could bring him into the game at a later point, right? But people thinking he'll come soon, like in December, or I don't think that's very likely.
Okay, so what do you guys think is going to come in December, and do you think it's going to be a new siege monster?
So first off, Siege Monster, yeah, absolutely. We all know something like coming. They're not going to go through Christmas without a loot fucking pinata. I think that's just common sense. And you don't even have to worry about the players. That's just the investors. They want a reason for people to play, so they're going to add some new stuff in there. In terms of what it'll be, I don't know, man. I didn't play any of these old games. I don't know what any of that stuff is. Fatalis, Orochi, I just know the names that I heard and I read on the list. But they're going to have some creature. You know, if they've showed the, like you're talking about now, the new skeleton for Fatalis, you know, we're talking about a game where every single time that they've hinted at something in the past year, they've included it. When everyone was like, yeah, there's no way they're bringing that. They're not going to include that. They're not going to add all those guys from the old games. This entire expansion is all the old good shit. They didn't really bring in bad monsters, minus like you know,
Very off.
small thing.
Bury off. Fuck bury off, dude.
Of course. Barioth is garbage. I'm not gonna touch on that. I don't want to knock the game. Period. You know, Hex put a lot of time into it. So did a lot of other players. And you knock one thing, you knock it all. That's what I'm saying. Shit. I don't know, man. I lost my train of thought on that. Been drinking too much.
Well, so Capcom did say that a long time ago, don't throw away your Kulf Taroth weapons, which is the only reason why I have a whole tab full of them still.
There's no way they're gonna do anything with those.
So that's the thing. So do you think that, okay, if we're not gonna get a Kulf, like, you know, a subspecies of Kulf or finish the Kulf pursuit, are we gonna get a new siege monster that'll just upgrade the Kulf weapons, or do you think all that shit's literally just gonna go to waste at this point?
I hope there's no upgrades to the Kulf weapons. I hope that that's done. I'm okay with a new loot table. I'm okay with a new loot pinata. But, you know, Glutton 2.5 or whatever, or any of those other weapons, look, they were in place during the base game when the base game rules were in place. They should be dead. They should be left alone. And that should just kind of die out. No offense. Like, it is what it is. Iceborne, by definition, is a different game. They've corrected the mistakes that they wanted to correct, and we should get new weapons based off of that. I don't want to see upgrades to old weapons to make them more viable with the new rule set or the new expectation of monsters. I want gear that's good. I want something that's specific for each monster. Give me something that's even specific for one monster. Like, if he's gonna have a, you know, whatever the creature is, if it's gonna have a bunch of weapons, give me something that's only, hey, this is one that's worth fighting only against this monster, and I'd be okay with that. I just want something that's actually going to have a specific use. I think when we get to the conversation later about 90% of the weapons in this game or gear being useless, it's going to kind of shine through, but that's what I don't want to see happen. No more gear that doesn't have a use. If it's going to be worse than something, then make it better. Make it worthwhile. That's my conversation on it.
Before we jump into that whole gear useless thing, Mobo, do you have anything to add on the whole siege Kulf Taroth thing?
Well, I could imagine them doing two things with the Kulf Taroth weapons, right? Because they said we shouldn't throw them away, I'm pretty sure they have something in mind for that, right? It could be a simple thing, like you could trade in those weapons for some sort of points or whatever, to maybe make new weapons or roll for the new weapons, whatever, right? So you have some use for the weapons while not actually getting use out of the weapon itself, right? Or they could make it so you can upgrade those weapons, right? Which I hope they don't, because that wouldn't make a lot of sense with a lot of them being outclassed by the normal ones, right? They weren't pretty good, so you wouldn't want to see them.
Well, now, if they were to allow you to trade them in for points or materials towards the next thing, wouldn't that have just promoted farming like 700 of the same weapons from the base game? That seems kind of silly. Who wants like 2, 3, 4 copies of the same weapon?
Your mom goes to college.
Shut up, Jen.
I don't know. It was just like,
Fuck.
my thoughts on that. Like, it doesn't have to be, just because they said we should keep the weapons, right? Doesn't mean that the weapons themselves are gonna see some sort of use or improvement. That's what I was gonna say. So there's, of course, the option that these weapons will have some sort of new use, or they could be made useful through some sort of new system that lets you disintegrate them or whatever.
Okay. Now, do you think that would be attached to a Kulf Taroth type siege, or are we going to get a new siege monster to take advantage of that? Or what do you guys think is going to happen in December, basically?
Well, with the way they've been doing things in Iceborne, I kind of have a feeling that Kulf Taroth is gonna be back in some form, either like a new species of the monster, or like you said, the end of the fight. So we're gonna have like a new area, that's basically where Kulf retreats, and she's gonna be even crazier than before, and it's gonna be like an awesome battle. So less like a siege, but more like a more something like what's it called? Shara Ishvalda or Xenil, right?
Like just an arena fight to the death kind of thing.
Yeah, with like not just how do you say, like with different phases, right? So you bring her down to like what 80%, then she does something and the fight changes. So
I mean that would be cool. I mean, I think everyone wants just like a single arena fight with, you know, multiple phases, but you know, you're not chasing a monster down, you know, for 20 minutes before you actually get to the fight. I'm just wondering if they would have to rework the whole siege mechanic, because, you know, the way it's worked right now, it's meant to take, you know, more than one time and for people to collect tracks and do stuff progressively, which obviously everyone fucking hates. But do you think they would get around that whole siege mechanic with, you know, a final confrontation, or just a siege monster that, you know, we fight one time in one arena?
I don't know. Because there were a lot of people that liked the Kulturoth fight, right? A lot of people.
Who fucking likes the Kulturoth fight? Okay, the final part, sure.
I'm gonna get a drink before we jump into that one.
Let me finish before you judge. I don't mean people love the fucking doing it 10 million times, right? But siege monsters in the Monster Hunter franchise in general have always been like, the first few times you fight this monster, it's like, it's this giant thing and it's so exciting, and you go through the different stages and it feels like you're kind of doing nothing, but at the same time you slowly start to see the damage you do, right? It's like this exciting feeling.
I mean, did anyone ever have that feeling against Lao Shanlong?
Yeah, I did.
Really? Even the first time I fought Lao, I was like, oh god, here we go.
Dude, the first time I fought Lao was so fucking intense. I was sitting in a room with like 2 of my friends. And
oh god. Oh god.
But I think in general, I don't think people really care for the siege fights, is just Momo thinks. Because they're, I mean, for the first time, they're kind of cool, but they're so damn long. They take forever. And it's fine in, like, Dalamodor's case, where, you know, he has a set of armor and weapons. You do them a couple times, you get your materials, great, you're done. But shit like Kulturoth siege stuff, where you have to fight her how many hundreds of times to get the weapon you want, fuck that. I think the old siege monsters are probably fine, because, yeah, they have one set of gear and weapons. You don't have to farm them over and over. They are not like some crazy thing. But if they keep doing current siege monsters like Kolv, where they have relic weapons, which would make sense. That's kind of like the gimmick. You have the siege monster with the RNG grind behind it. If they keep doing that, I don't think people are going to appreciate it.
Yeah. Maybe they... yeah. It's difficult. Because, like, the siege fights themselves can be really fun if you do them, like, with a group of friends.
Now, did you like Dalamodor?
Yeah.
Okay. I like Dalamodor. A lot of people hate Dalamodor. I thought it was a really good fight.
It was fun. Yeah, it was cool.
Okay. Continue.
I don't know what that is, and that's okay.
Jin, it's a giant snake wrapped around a mountain that you get to climb.
Sounds great. Sounds phenomenal. I'm all for it. Bring it in.
Dude, if they brought that in, it would be insane.
Jen, you don't know, but Dalamodor isn't World. It is the coiled up remains of Rotten Vale.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Well, that makes sense for me then. Okay.
This big snake.
BigSnake.com.
I don't know where we're going with this conversation, to be honest. Something about
gay dating, BigSnakes.com.
The siege monsters.
The siege monsters.
Well, I bet you got a siege monster if you're on BigSnakes.com.
So what do you guys think is going to happen in December? Are we going to get a siege monster, or are we just going to get like a new monster?
I think.
Well, they said new monster. I think it's going to be a big pinata.
Jen, I think you cut out like.
Yeah, you cut out
for that.
My bad, guys. I'm sorry about that. I think it's not going to be a small monster. I think it's going to be a loot pinata like the last time. Something along the lines of KT, and here's why. if you're going to look at this game, you've got to look at it from a business standpoint. The people that decide this game are not the developers. And that's what I think the big problem is with a lot of people who play it. They think the developers decide what goes on. It is not the developers. It is the marketing team, and it is based off of what they think they can sell to the highest common denominator. So if you look at Christmas and you look at what they've announced, they're like, all right, I've got the opportunity to unleash a new monster. Okay, does that bring people in? Does that really sell stuff? No, not in Monster Hunter. It definitely does not, because people want the older monsters. No new monster has really held stuff down.
Okay,
now,
hold on. Can I pause you for really quick?
Yeah.
Do you think anybody who doesn't already own Monster Hunter would buy Monster Hunter for something like another Loot Pinata monster?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, by definition, and here's why. You and player A and player B are talking about the game, okay? Player B does not have the game. Player A says, hey man, I've been playing this game for X amount of time, and I have this amount of items. Coming next month, you can get this same amount of items or better. They've got new stuff coming. Word of mouth is how something like that transfers, and that's how Destiny, Anthem, and the rest of those games that didn't do shit had any type of player base. That's the only reason they had it, was because they had players talking about, hey, I'm going to get this new thing. I definitely think that that's one of the only things that would bring a new player base over. If you aren't playing Monster Hunter on Iceborne right now, what is going to make you play it?
Well, here's the thing, though, but with the way the equipment and weapons work in Monster Hunter, like, what are you going to tell them? Oh, I got a weapon with 10 more raw than I had previously. Because, like, People
don't talk like that. People don't talk like that. That's not what player A and player B are discussing. They're not.
Well, I get that,
raw.
but effectively, there's no difference in, like, the KT weapons versus any other weapon, especially when you look at the fucking models. But they had, like, slightly better stats. And from a, let's just talk about melee. They were basically the exact same things, except they had, maybe they were a little bit better. What are you going to hype up to your friends about? The weapon's gold?
No, a new weapon. That's all you're going to hype up to your friends. The only people who would be coming over at this point now, in December, would be the friends of people who are enjoying the game. You've already said it yourself. People who want to play Monster Hunter are already playing this game. You're not going to see anything draw in more, quote, Monster Hunter players. You're already playing it. Everyone we talked to who played previous Monster Hunters are playing this game in some facet or form. The only new people that are going to come over now are new players to the entire franchise, genre, however you want. And that's only going to come from word of mouth from, hey, there's this new thing coming out in this game. You should come play it with me. That's where my mindset lands, is I really think that that's the only way and the only thing that they really have to do. I don't think a previous monster is going to draw in a bunch of people. I think it's going to be word of mouth, drawing in attention. And I think that's what Capcom realizes. They hit the jackpot with this game, having their highest selling one from a franchise that, I mean, I don't really think anybody ever thought Monster Hunter was going to beat Street Fighter in terms of sales, right? Like, that's nuts.
That's crazy.
Dude.
Yeah,
like,
that is fucking crazy to think about.
That's fucking insane for it to do that, because Street Fighter has tournaments worldwide still for fighting competitions or whatever facet. There's not that many Monster Hunter, hey, let's go speedrun tournaments. For it to outsell that had to be literally people telling other people this game is fun. Let's have a good time together, man.
And
that's where I'm at.
I get that, and I'm just thinking that, as far as for like a new release goes, I don't know what, from a business standpoint, what you could tell someone to bring new players in, other than, now that you mention it, the only thing I can think that would bring new players in that aren't already interested in Monster Hunter is more collaboration stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same thing.
Like, what if, because I'm sure the Witcher thing, I'm sure that brought a lot of Witcher fans in. Like,
of course it did.
Because everyone's like, what the fuck? Jerry from the Riverlands is here in Monster Hunter? That's crazy. I don't think the Horizon stuff was all that big, but I'm sure that caught some people's eyes. But in the previous games, they had shit from like all the Nintendo franchises, because obviously they were on Nintendo systems. Could you imagine if they did another like Zelda crossover and you get like fucking boar form Ganon?
Dude, give me Link's Master Sword and Master Shield. Give me that.
That was the thing. You had his whole tunic, Master Shield, and Master Sword as a sword and shield setup. That was the thing. You also had the hero's bow as a bow. Yeah. It was a thing.
Yeah.
Jin, you didn't
Well,
even
then
know.
you got it right now.
In previous games, you could even be Samus, her whole armor, and she had her gun and everything.
Then you just answered the question that you were talking about earlier, brother.
Well,
you nailed it on the head.
But do you really think? Okay, so do you think they're gonna do a collaboration thing? They're gonna announce in December, or are they gonna announce some? Okay, I guess where I'm getting at is, I don't think we really we don't have any idea of what's gonna happen in December. It could be fucking anything at this point.
Yeah.
But what would you think makes the most sense?
It's going to be something not based towards Monster Hunter players. That's what it's going to be. Just like we talked about now. They've already got the Monster Hunter players. You guys have a million fucking monsters to fight from previous games that are awesome. You guys already got that. For anyone who previously played this game, in any generation, any iteration, you already got all the good monsters. You might have Valstrax or whatever else you're missing out, or Gormagal, but they're going to come at some point. That's where we're at. It's going to be something to draw in other player base to be like, hey, listen, can you talk to your friends about this? I mean, whoever thought they were going to bring over Resident Evil? Resident Evil? I mean, there's a huge player base for Resident Evil that really doesn't play a lot of stuff other than Resident Evil. And if they see any opportunity to do anything like that, which I think we've seen the zombie aspect or whatever the fuck that was that they showed in the video, you know, you could get behind that. You could get behind that if you were a Resident Evil player. So I think no matter what it is coming now, you know, in November, December, January, February, whatever, I think everything is going to be based off of grabbing the other players other than Monster Hunter players, because they already got you guys. They already got me. They already got all of us playing this game because we've got all the good stuff. We just want more. Every single one of us, we just want a little bit more. Just a little taste. A little taste of something different, right?
I will say I'm very annoyed that we didn't get a Resident Evil rocket launcher, heavy bowgun, and grenade launcher, light bowgun. That
is some bullshit, especially after you put in like the last weapon and everything. Like, you're not gonna fucking give me that? Like, what a joke. What a joke. Did they show like what we actually get from the Resident Evil thing? Do we get anything for it?
It's skins and some emotes. And now here's the other thing. It's only available for 1 day. Like, it goes live on the 7th and it's active until the 8th. According to the if you log in and check, that's what it says. You have 1 day. Isn't that weird?
Maybe that's just one celebration day.
But it's not
even
even
emotes.
But it's not even
just depressing.
It's not even like on Halloween. It's just on November 7th. You have like a day to do the Resident Evil shit.
I don't know. Maybe it has some meaning with Resident Evil. Maybe
I don't know. Maybe it's like
out?
a launch day for Resident Evil. I don't know.
Yeah, that's.
You know what it is a launch day for? My fucking clinical depression.
Okay, so let's go into the next topic of why is 99% of all the equipment trash?
Yo, okay, so here, let me touch on this. I don't know. And I'm the one who brought this up, and I need somebody from the community to explain this to me, whether it's a developer or someone who's played this game for a long time. There is no reason in any RPG, action game, sports game, whatever, to have any type of equipment, gear, whatever you want, that isn't usable, viable, or makes sense in an optimal setting. Now, what I mean is this. If you're going to spend time to pay somebody to code something into your video game to do something, wouldn't you want it to be worthwhile?
Jin, have you played Skyrim?
Of course.
All melee.
Well, by definition, melee in Skyrim is just atrocious. You really can't.
Exactly. It's shit. There's no point. Everyone eventually turns out to be a stealth rogue.
That's an engine problem, not a weapon design problem. There's a big difference. No matter what weapon you equip in Skyrim, this is what you do. And you just back up. Like, you just literally attack, you swing, and you back up. It doesn't matter.
What you just described to me was aerial hammer.
Oh! Cutting deep. Okay. I don't think that it makes sense that there should be a single piece of gear in this game that isn't viable in one way, shape, or form. Now, I'm okay with certain stuff being worse, better, or whatever. I think that makes sense. If something's more difficult, you're going to want to have it be more worthwhile. However, even in a type of triage system where hey, I'm going to go from this outfit to the next one that's better at the most high extreme to whatever, you're still having levels of stuff that's good. I think we can all agree that almost every weapon is now based around, you know, the 3-piece Masters plus, you know, Rexroar and Garuga Greaves plus probably Handicraft, Amulet. It's no good. Like, we literally are all around this. We've got 30 some new monsters or whatever it is. Pardon my ignorance. We've had a lot of drinks tonight, and it's still defaulting to the same shit. If this stuff is so good, get the fuck rid of it. I'm okay with times going back 20 seconds. Casual players don't give a shit. They don't care about if something's dead in 4:30 or 5 minutes. It doesn't matter to them. So make it worthwhile to have stuff be good instead of being like, well, we're always going to do it. Because honestly, I think that's where you're seeing everyone get fed up. We thought we were going to have different stuff. Everyone was talking about Draken being gone and all that. And we're just riding it again. Different set name, different outfit, different skills. But that's where we're at. I mean, there's a couple creative people doing some things, but for the most part, that's the best outfit, and that's not how it should be. And that's bad coding. That's lazy. To do the same thing you did before, by definition, is insanity. And I think that's God, that's such a miss. When you have that many people playing your game, you've got what? Like, we just touched on it. More people playing Street Fighter than this. Can you imagine that? More people than Street Fighter play this game.
14 million Monster Hunter sales.
I have seen people fist fight in Chicago over fucking Street Fighter. I have never seen anybody talk about Monster Hunter in public. Never.
What's weird is that it just seems that despite the sales, I don't think anybody cares about Monster Hunter still. Isn't that weird?
I don't know who does outside of the high end, which is where we're trying to figure out why.
Even on a casual basis, like, Monster Hunter is still not that popular, despite it being Capcom's best-selling game. It's not like it has very high Twitch viewers ever. I don't hear anybody that plays video games talking about Monster Hunter ever. How is that possible? Isn't that weird?
Well, I think in 2019, we're talking about leaderboards, right? We're talking about leader rankings worldwide. I think that's why everything kind of takes off, is the ability to brag to your friends about where you're ranked. I think if we look at Fortnite or any of the other failures that at least attempted, what was the one thing that was common between, like, Anthem and, you know, the rest of those things, like Destiny 2, the rest of the trash ones? You know, leaderboard. You want to be able to brag about how good you are at something and you know, show your value.
Isn't that the entire point of Monster Hunter speedruns, though?
Sure. But we don't have a basis. There's no place to go like, hey, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. There's no default place to go to be like, hey, if I want to check out, where do I go? You've got Shin's website, you've got a Tia website, and that's all word of mouth. There's no, like, Capcom doesn't support that kind of stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's
no default for it.
Imagine if normal quests, like optional quests, had the leaderboard function that arena quests have.
Oh, that would be cool.
The like best times people have.
That,
I don't know how that's not listed right away. Like,
yeah, right? That's actually crazy now that I think about it. That is a good point, Smobo. Like, could you imagine, like, if at the end of your, like, hunt screen, when you're collecting all your times and materials and shit, it shows you where you ranked and how fucking shitty you were at that quest? And you could just look at the times, like the top 50 times, and be like, what the fuck? What did they do? I think, like, and the game has a built-in quest timer. There's no reason not to incorporate that in a leaderboard right at the end.
And it's got the ability to demonstrate all those quests already, because it shows it in the arena. Notice how easy it is to fucking do that coding. It's literally one fucking line for AT coding.
Dude, take this one step further. Instead of just having, like, the times at the end to compare, right? You have the leaderboard and stuff. Imagine you actually make the game sort of competitive by introducing like a ranking system, like based on your time on the quest and like what is considered like a good time and perfect, close to perfect time. It's a bad time, right? You get points for that quest. So if you perform really well, if you clear quests really fast, there's like a reward for that. And it's not like you get points whenever you do this, like any quest. You have to kind of like accept like a run agreement for that quest.
I don't know about the whole run agreement thing. You kind of lost me there, but I was just thinking if
you want me to sign an NDA to fight something?
But I was just thinking, like, when you finished an optional quest, you could just hit like triangle or something and just be like, hey, save this on the leaderboard.
Kind of what I mean. Like,
and so it would save your weapon loadout, your armor, and so it would just all be there. So if people looked at the leaderboards, they could see that quest. This person did it with this equipment at this time. And then you get points, and that would be on your guild card, and then you'd have points.
Exactly.
And then you'd have like your ranking in the world on your guild card.
Yeah, and you can like people like to get addicted to stuff, right? People love fucking rewards. They want to grind for stuff that seems worthwhile to them. Like if you look at something and you really want to have it, like because it feels special to you. You have this drive, like it doesn't matter, I have to do like 20 side quests, I don't give a fuck, I'll do them all because I want this epic, cool, whatever thing, right? You want this prestige that other people don't have. Like it's the same with trophies and whatever, achievement hunting. Like people care for that, and if it's tied to you being a good player, it's even more so worthwhile. Because like, say if you have like a specific ranking, your name changes color to like a golden color.
Well, I mean, it already does. But
that.
yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, like something that shows other people right away, hey, look, I'm very, very good at the game.
Could you imagine if they had layered armors that were specific to like the amount of points you get from being on the leaderboards?
Imagine if they just had like rewards in general tied to times. Like, oh, here's optional Lunastra. If you clear the quest in under 5 minutes, you'll unlock this and that.
Dude, they should have that. They should have done that for all the layered armors rather than like, because we got those low rank layered armors right now that you just get. You can just have all of them from the guided lands. But could you imagine if, you had to do their associated optionals within like a specific set of rules? Like, maybe it's sometimes it's time. Maybe it's you can't do this quest with armor. Cool. Maybe you can't do this quest with items. Shit like that to do like a challenge to get the layered. Yeah, like shit like that. Yeah, why isn't that a thing?
No items. What are you doing? You just savagery.
Like, could you imagine like how much more like involved the community would be if there was stuff like that in the game, not all this fan made up stuff that nobody really cares about because it's not official?
Yeah, people would maybe take more liking to the speedrunning scene to seek advice, right? Because if you have this let's call it skill wall in the game, right? You can only get this reward if you have the skill to beat this task, like beating some monster in a specific time, right? If you can't finish the quest in under 5 minutes, you're never gonna get the reward. So what are you gonna do?
So all you redditors pack up your fucking defense 7, health boost 3 immortal builds.
Yeah, that's not gonna work anymore. So you'll have to find new ways to maybe abuse some of the monster's weakness or some mechanics of the weapons that you haven't even explored or thought of, like aerial hammer, for example, right?
I think that might have actually been a really good pushing point to get more people involved in doing things very effectively. Yeah,
because people are
there's no reason
forced to really understand the game or learn the game.
Right, because right now there's no reason. You're not forced to do anything.
Ways.
Yeah,
like I remember in old arena quests, they always had like the sets you had were always themed around something. Like you could look at the set and the items and you got the idea of the set, like what they wanted you to do with the set. Like you saw, okay, this set has some barrel bombs, it has adrenaline, what's it called, heroics now, and bludgeoner, for example. Then you'd know, okay, I'll have to lose sharpness and bomb myself so I can get the A time, right? That the game wants you to get with that set. So the game teaches you about mechanics that you might not have learned yet because they're not your style or you're not interested in. Like, how many people have actually used like feline heroics?
Nobody, unless you're speedrunning. I guarantee you
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Like, rarely people will be like, oh, okay.
I think
like,
that's more of a problem with the lack of arena quests in general. I think the older games had like 15 arena quests, something like that, plus a bunch more. And now we have got like a handful, 6, 7 maybe tops.
Yeah, there were definitely a lot more arena quests. There was
Didn't
one for
everyone
every
just
monster.
complain about Monster Hunter Iceborne? Like, don't we have too many arena quests?
No,
Or am I
we don't have
missing
too many. There's no way anyone complained about having too many arena quests.
We
like-
have special arena quests.
Well, okay, yeah, that's different. That's totally different.
Yeah.
I'm gonna complain about every gunner arena quest ever, but that's just me. But
Sure.
I'm just saying we don't have too many arena quests. There's no such thing. And I think a lot of people actually like arena quest running. I like arena
Yeah.
quests. The
It's a
problem
lot
is
of fun.
yeah, we only have a few, and they're also very limited because Capcom picks all our sets. And that's fine,
Yeah.
because that gives a good baseline of what everyone should be playing at. The problem is that we have an arena quest with 5 weapons, and people are like, well, I don't play any of those weapons.
Yeah,
So, I don't know.
but I don't know, that's been a problem ever since. Like, the old arena quests.
Well,
It
and
was
yeah,
always
it's been a
just-
problem forever, but I think it's more exacerbated now because we have so few quests. So we don't have so many choices, basically. But yeah, that's just my thought.
What? Yeah.
I know, I'm getting kind of trashed at this point. It's kind of hard to keep coherent sentences
My
going.
bad. Hell yeah, dude. I've been drinking a lot. Back to
Jen, your mic cuts out like all the time, by the way.
You know what? You know who cuts out? Your mom cuts out. So, listen, I want to be back on this shit. I'm ready to fucking go. Pull up the videos. Let's go at. Actually, you know what? I apologize. Let me just say something. Phemeto, I'm sure your family is absolutely wonderful. I've met a lot of them, and they're all wonderful people.
No, they're
I
not. Shut
apologize,
up,
and I
Jim.
should not have said it. They're
Um,
very, very kind. I apologize.
I've been playing the videos the whole time, by the way. We're about an hour and a half in, and I've been looping these videos because they're only like I only have like 30 minutes worth of videos. I don't think we go on this long. But has anyone got any other things they want to talk about really quick? Because we kind of went through all the basic bullet points that we had written out. How about these runs? Because we haven't really talked about speedrun shit at all.
Let's load these bad boys up. So we're gonna jump into a couple runs here, and every week we're gonna just tackle over a few that basically popped up over the past couple days, and we want to just kind of call out, dissect, look at, and kind of just put a little hype behind. Not too much introduction really needed, other than the introduction of the runner and maybe the monster we're fighting, and we're gonna
Okay.
kind of just go from there.
Well, okay, so the first one I loaded up then was Ox's Gunlance versus Acidic Lab, because we kind of went through that earlier. Now, I thought this run was interesting because, one, we don't get very many Gunlance runs. The second being is that, one, the Gunlance doesn't use Clutch Claw at all, because that's the nature of Clutch Claw, really, especially with light weapons. And two, who's Ox? I don't think I've seen any Ox runs prior. Does anyone know who he is?
No, I haven't. heard of
Absolutely
him.
not.
Okay. I pulled the video from Shin's website, and I just thought it was really good because it's actually one of the faster Acidic Lab runs that's not, bow or heavy bowgun. And I thought it was just very interesting because we don't see Gunlance very often. And
Very option.
shut up. And this is also before Rajang Heavy Bowgun, or God, I can't talk. Before Rajang Gunlance, so this is still using Basil's, but it's just a charged long Gunlance, it looks like. But I don't know, I just thought the run was very interesting because it kind of shows you where Gunlance is at right now. Do you guys have any thoughts on this run?
Load this
Yo.
bad boy up so we can watch it. I want to watch this thing together.
I'm
so
playing it right now. You should click on that link in that thingy that we have.
So one sec. So while we got this set up, what is the way that I'm supposed to view it with you guys? Can I view it in real time with you or not?
Not.
Yes. Give me a
Or-
second.
I just clicked on the fucking link. I have it playing basically. I didn't have share screen on because me trying to share
Join
my
this?
screen with all that crap. Yeah, you guys do that.
So we're watching the 336 Acidic Lab and it's gone out, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Yeah, it's a
Can we just
three.
play at the same time? All
That's
three of us?
basically
Can we
what I
just
was
go that way?
expecting us to do, to be honest.
Let's go tackle it right now. On 3, all right? On 3, 2, 1.
No, wait a second.
Play. Oh, wait. All right, we'll wait. Come on now.
I've been playing it for like a minute now.
Rewind the shit.
I sent you a link. Check Discord. Join that.
Your mom goes to college. I gotta watch on this thing now. This is so much clicking.
Fem, join too.
I don't want to because it'll reposition my. Maybe it won't. Well, I'll just say because if I move my Discord at all, it's gonna move you guys around.
Okay.
But, all right, we're good. We're good. Let's go. Let's go. Let's just do this shit and yeah.
What is it? The Basil Gunlance? Which one's he running?
The basic Gunlance.
Yeah, it's Goose's.
Basil sucks for like everything but Gunlance.
That's fine. I mean, it's
Whoa,
got
what
some...
kind of skip was that?
Well,
Did
that's
he just
PS4
hit, like,
recording. Come on, you know.
Why did he cut out the fucking?
No, it's not. It's not cutting out. That's PS4 recording. It happens on all my shit all the time. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's just
Whoa!
PS4 being shitty.
Just TA.
Your TA.
That's a good point.
But
Let's see what he's doing here. So we got bombs going by the anus. Ooh. Jab the explosion in, and where are we at now?
Getting the
So
rock.
this is the one thing that I'm curious about with Special Arena. Had we not had the drop, I'm very, very, very curious on what these times would be at, because I think that's really shaving a lot off of what the game was intended to be, with the environmental aspects being so prevalent.
to be honest,
So-
with Gunlance being static
Oh, that
values,
was
I don't
nice,
think it would
though.
change all that much. Maybe just.
That's
keep-
also a good point too. You're right. Oh my god, I didn't even think of that.
He's got Rocksteady on. He could just keep firing shells anyways.
Yeah.
Location wouldn't matter. You're right.
But the run itself, I mean, it's not flawless. It could definitely be improved, but there's not very many Gunlance runners. But the thing is, he completely ignored Clutch Claw altogether.
Yeah.
Just said fuck it, and which makes sense because it's static values. Who cares? But that's what Gunlance has kind of been reduced to at this point. It looks like it's just spamming long shells because
Yeah.
hit zones are just that bad, and it's just that much of a pain to deal with Clutch Claw at this point. I know it's not the same for every weapon, but I'm just saying, I thought this run kind of shows kind of what that's like. Like, we have a mechanic that we just straight up ignore.
Yeah. But I think it's like a problem for Gunlance running with how bad hit zones are if you don't tenderize the part, that you're forced into this playstyle whether you like it or not, and there's not like much room for experimentation because of that. And like other weapons that ignore hit zones, like say sticky ranged, right? Either heavy or light bowgun. It also ignores hit zones and it's fairly good to use, right?
Yeah.
But it's just an ammo type, so it doesn't force the entire weapon class into that playstyle. Like you don't have to use sticky ammo. You can still run element or pierce or spread or
But-
normal or whatever.
And I get that for a casual playstyle, but does that make sense for speedrunning? So what if sticky is the best because you can just straight up ignore hit zones? Why would you expect people to use anything else? Is that what Gunlance is going to get reduced to? Are we just going to only run long shelling spam because we could just ignore game concepts?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's if that's the case, then that's really, really bad for Gunlance and Gunlance running, because every run is gonna basically look the same.
And that's what I'm worried about for Gunlance, because you
There we
really
go.
think that we're
Yeah.
going to get anything to change the way we play? That's kind of big.
Yeah. Like, you want variety in the runs you watch, too. Like, you want to... there's this thing, like, every big runner, let's say, has, like, distinct things they like to do, or stuff they're known for, right?
Mhm.
But if you force, like, a specific playstyle onto the players by introducing new mechanics or just the game being the game, right? Sometimes there's just one optimal way that beats every others by a mile, and there's like no point in going for anything but that one build or strategy or setup or whatever. And that's like that's a big problem if you don't have room for creativity in how you use the weapon, even in speedrunning, or especially in speedrunning. Then runs are gonna come down to this, oh yeah, it's like you've seen one, you've seen them all, right?
Well, yeah, and okay, I'd like to kind of piggyback off that, and that's kind of where we're at with these arena runs right now, especially for a Heavy Bowgun standpoint. Look at Randall Deora, who does amazing work, and Tatsufi.
Randall!
Tatsufi.
Fucking
They
G!
both do amazing shit. I love both of them. But all their runs look exactly the same. It's you put down a boulder and a trap, and you just glutton them in the face, or if it's Rajang, you use clusters because you can't fucking shoot it. And that is every single run you'll ever see. It's just lock the monster and put spread on his face. And that's boring.
Exactly.
And because there's no other variety. And with bowguns in general, with how much ammo they have, that changed their playstyles entirely. With all the different shit you can do with reloads and recoil mechanics and stuff, there's no variety in Heavy Bowgun at all. And it fucking sucks. And on Light Bowgun, you know, Light Bowgun, actually, I want to give a lot of props to. There is so much shit you can do with Light Bowgun. I'm actually very happy with Light Bowgun.
Really cool.
I just don't like that Light Bowgun was shoehorned so hard into running evade reload with all the new bowguns. That's really annoying. Yeah. Other than that, though, Light Bowgun's probably my favorite weapon still to run. I haven't done any runs yet, but I've been playing, you know, a lot of Light Bowgun. And it actually has options. It's what I wish all the other weapons have. You can run elemental, you can run status, you can run stickies that ignore hit zone, you can still run spread. Everything has a use. And everything works. Some pierce works, normals kind of work. It's not that far off in a damage per second gap. Kind of like if you think about other weapons where, hey, if you're going to run aerial hammer, it's miles ahead of everything else, as well as like other weapons where you have this specific build with this specific weapon that just shits on everything else. And Light Bowgun's not that case, which is really cool. But everything else is that way. And why is that? And are we just going to be like that for the rest of Iceborne? I don't know.
Unless they change up the gear, dude. We're definitely going to be like that for the rest of Iceborne, unfortunately.
Yeah,
They got to change something basic.
I was pretty disappointed with the Rajang gear because I was hoping that maybe they would introduce some more new skills, like really new skills, or maybe bring back some old skills.
Like a new set bonus kind of thing?
Yeah, right. Maybe, like, the thing I was kind of hoping for was, like, old games had this ability on, like, you could have this ability on, like, your boots or your waist armor, and it was called Torso Up.
Oh, Torso Up was so cool. I love Torso Up.
Right. It was so cool for set building, right? So I thought maybe they could add like a set bonus or a skill that lowers the required parts for a set bonus by 1 down to a minimum of 2.
That would be cool.
So instead of having to run 3 parts of Teostra for Master's Touch, you just need 2. Right, so you run to head to chest, you run the Rajang braces with the new ability that reduces the set cost by 1, and now you can take another set bonus into that set. So there's suddenly a lot of options to combine different set abilities.
That would be really cool, actually. Yeah. I was actually wondering, speaking of that, from older games, we had chakra pieces, which gave no skills, but always had max slots, so you just kind of play with however you'd like. Could you imagine a world if we had a piece of armor that had no skills on it, but gave you like 3 level 4 slots? Just say, hey,
that would be huge.
Make your own thing. Because if you look at like master rank armor, it's not that good. Like the gloves and the waists that we have are shit. Could you imagine if we just got like a piece that was like, hey, make your own. I don't care. And that's actually kind of what I was thinking about. with the new siege monster, whatever it would be, what if we had relic armor instead of relic weapons? And
That would be
every
cool,
piece
too.
of armor was a set amount, so there's no like rarity RNG. But if it was like 9 total points of skills, if you think Garuga has 10, it's 2 crit eye and then a level 4 and 2 level 2s, so it's 4, 6, 8, and then 2 level 1s. It's like 10 points. If you had every piece of armor that was like 9 points, so not as good as Garuga legs, because those legs are fucking amazing, but just a little bit less, and they just had a random assortment of slots and skills that just equaled 9.
Dude, that would be fucking hell. That'll be charm farming all over again.
But at the same time, you'd only need like, what if you got like a bunch of pieces like arms or legs that had no skills? It had 9 total slots. You had like 2 level 4s and a level 1, or you had 3 level 3s. Just you don't have to get like god rolls every time. There's so many possibilities in that system that you could grind forever, and like some stuff would be pretty good. You could have attack 1, critical eye 1, weakness exploit 2, and then like a level 3 and a level 2 slot. Why not?
Yeah, but now imagine you have like an optimal set and you're missing 1 point of whatever, 1 point of attack to get attack boost level 4 for that 5% crit you're missing.
Right.
But you already have like a really, really good relic armor piece in your set. And now you're grinding hours and hours and hours to get that improvement piece, right? So
But
you can
At
perfect
this
your run.
point, though, there'd be infinite parts of like armors and chests that could also interchange with whatever you have currently that you could still technically improve upon. And then also, would it be any worse than farming cove weapons or decorations right now? You imagine with the level 4s right now, there's 300 level 4 decorations and people want 3 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're going to have some shit to make people play longer. That's just the nature of the game. And so if you just went straight up, here you go, here's random armor, go for it. But if it all had a set value of 9 total skills, at least you're not going, I have only, 1 point of skills into this piece of armor. It's absolutely useless.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it could be interesting for sure. I'd love to see them how do you say this? Make the armor overall feel better, right?
I mean, am I wrong? Does our master rank armor suck or what?
No, it does suck. Like if you look at a lot of the runs, they're running high rank pieces because they're better.
Well, and I mean, if you get hit in a run, you're fucked anyway, unless you're running heroics. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I'm doing that too with a lot of my sets. I'm running like Draken still because Draken is so fucking good. It's ridiculous.
Right. And that's why like new skills and new set bonuses and stuff are important. If you have this powerful equipment in high rank, I mean, of course, I'm happy to see that high rank gear still has uses in master rank. I mean, that's cool too. But like, wouldn't it be better if all the master rank gear was good and Draken was so good that it still sees use, instead of all the master rank armor being so shit that Draken still is the best option?
Right. And then also, what if master rank gear was actually different? Because we're still building the exact same sets as we were in a high rank. We're still, let's run weakness exploit 3, crit boost 3, critical eye maxed, and whatever skill fits your weapon. But that's it.
Yeah.
Every fucking weapon runs the exact same setup. Melee runs, Master's Touch on TO, ranged one, spare shot. Same shit. Like, the game hasn't changed. I think that's the biggest problem I think a lot of people have right now.
Yeah. That's why I think a lot of people seem to not how do you say this? They didn't get captured by Iceborne the same they got captured by the original Monster Hunter World, right? Because it kind of feels still like the same game. Like it's different, but it's still the same.
Yeah, I think the more that people play Iceborne, the less they enjoy it. Because I mean, Iceborne was crazy at launch. When I first started playing Iceborne, I was captivated wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Same.
But
I couldn't stop.
once everyone got to Guided Lands and understood what is the end game and kind of what we're doing, it's the same game.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same game. We're still grinding Tempered Elders for deco farming. We're still running the exact same sets. We're still doing the exact same shit. We just have a couple more monsters to do it on.
I mean, I love the like casual things they added, like all the room decoration and stuff.
Dude,
right?
camera, Pokemon Snap mode, best mode,
man,
by the way.
That's such cool additions, right? And all the endemic life and stuff, and the maps are beautiful, like the Hoarfrost Reach.
I love the Guided Lands, by the way. I actually think it's the best
music
zone.
in the Guiding Lands, dude, it's fucking popping.
I don't care so much for the music. I just think the terrain itself is fantastic.
Yeah, the idea of all the locales going together.
And you don't have to leave. You could just grind all fucking day.
Yeah.
Now, I had wished the Grinding Lands had, you know, more decos as rewards for killing Tempered Elders out there. But for the most part, I absolutely love the Guided Lands for just the design of it.
Yeah. It's cool. And it's fun. And like the fun part about the Guiding Lands is that it gives some skills that you wouldn't really consider before some value. Like Fortify in the Guiding Lands is like the best skill to have.
Geology? I hope they don't fix that ever, dude.
Like that's some skill you never use or rarely use.
I wish they would do more stuff like that to make other like non-meta skills usable. Like just I know the geology thing is a bug. I know the Fortify is more of an abuse over anything, but I wish they would give more skills a reason to be there.
Yeah.
Like we have Mire Walker, which lets you walk in like bad terrain, which is only used in the Wastelands for Juratotus fight in that swampy area. If you really have to, it's fucking Juratotus. If you have to use Mire Walker on Juratotus, you got other problems. And then maybe some deep snow parts in the Hoarfrost Reach, which they specifically designed because of that. Other than that, though, there's a reason for that skill to exist. Why do we have that skill? Yeah. Can we please have a fight that's like 90% you're in, you know, waist deep water and you're fighting a fish? Maybe that would change up, you know, their moveset because they're actually in their natural environment and like an aquatic area. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Bring water combat back. Come on.
If they took all the shitty skills and integrated them into the augmentation of your weapon or armor.
That would be fantastic. So if you could just automatically have
skills,
Mire Walker weapons.
Yeah. Like these skills are like tier lowest fucking tier of skills, right? You usually don't want to put them. You wouldn't use the decoration for them, right? So imagine if there was a way for just these bottom tier decorations to be added to your armor or weapon permanently, right?
That
so
would be much better than like the affinity and attack they have.
It would make a lot more sense because like why the fuck would anybody need decorations for my walk? Like, why would you include that into your set?
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the problem with custom augments I have right now is that they prioritize rare 10 weapons so hard because rare 10s get better augment slots, they get better customization slots, and if they keep adding on to this stuff where we just get more augments and stuff, rare 10s are gonna just start shitting on all the other weapons. But if they change that up so that rather than get just flat raw and element and affinity bonuses, we got just random shitty skills like Mire Walker or like Dragon Res or Fire Res or fucking Spore Puff Expert, whatever the shit that is.
Imagine if your weapon or armor just randomly came with one of those skills.
That's what they should add for the relic armors. Well, that's the thing with relic armors. You just get that shit. It's just why not?
Yeah. It's just on there.
Yeah, I think that would make
put those skills in by choice, but some skills are like nice to have, like speed eating, for example. It's like a comfy skill, or fucking free meal.
With all the shitty level 4 decos I've had, and putting like speed eating and free meal on my sets, I absolutely love free meal so much.
Yeah.
But I was like, I would never go
so
out of my
many
way to put it on a
potions, dude.
set. There's no way.
Yeah.
But having it for free on just some random shit, why not? It's
Exactly.
so handy. It's a quality of life thing.
It makes you like really love the skill. Like when I play casually, when I like farm stuff or whatever, I'd rather use a decoration that has free meal and something like attack or whatever, instead of like two beneficial skills. Just
Right.
because I'm like, well, I don't need 5% more affinity. Like I'd rather not use.
Well, and
as many
that's the same as being in the Guiderlands and you
items.
swap out a critical eye for a geology because you know it.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it, dude. Who cares about 5-10% crit? Just get your
Exactly.
geology. Double the
Because-
materials. That's double the hunts, dude. That's way better.
Right. If
Now,
you're
if-
playing casually, then the time doesn't matter, right?
Right.
You're not on the clock. You have 50 minutes or however long it takes for a monster to run away in the guiding lands. But like you have a lot of time.
hmm Now, I just think our sets are so deco starved as they are because they're so bad. We're trying to fit all our, offensive skills on
For
them.
sure.
Yeah, but yeah, if we had a bunch of just random garbage skills like the level 4 decorations, but not feeling like a waste because we're putting a level 4 decoration with attack 1 and free meal, then it would feel a lot better to use the non-meta skills just because they're useful. I mean, all the skills have a use. It's definitely a thing. You can use all the skills for something, but no one in the right mind is gonna put on Meyer Walker free meal on a fucking level 4 deco. Just you're crazy. If you just gave that shit away for free, great. But right now it's just like, dude, come on.
Yeah. Don't put that in my reward box. That's not a fucking reward.
I'm doing Temperate Elders 5-box and I get a bunch of like poison charm or like poison arrow plus and poison resistance.
Hound.
Yeah. Or crit draw vitality. How many of those do you guys have?
Too many. I'm actually pretty happy with the decorations I got playing through the Iceborne story.
No, me too. Like I know a lot of people have a hard time getting decorations, and I've grinded a pretty good amount, but I've gotten pretty much everything I need except a couple like elemental decos and like one weakness exploit con. I'm actually okay with deco farming in Iceborne. It's not as bad as people make it out to be.
It's not that bad. It just sucks.
Okay, Jan, let's put on your wizard hat.
Don't judge me.
I'm not.
Don't
I would do
judge
it.
me.
Trust me, I would do it in a heartbeat. I'm purposely not, just because I don't want to do speed running until it comes out on PC. Because I hate playing on a controller. I fucking hate it. I hate controllers so much. You have no idea.
Sure.
But that being said, you don't get to say, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah, you're right. Touche. I'll just leave that back off.
Like, BJ... Oh, shit, I just knocked down like 3 wine bottles.
Somebody was just kicking on away. Oh, I just broken like 9 wine glasses.
BJ literally gave up playing because he couldn't handle the deco farm anymore. And he's been playing nonstop since day one. It's been like a month at this point.
I don't mean to expose the motherfucker, but I'm gonna hook up B.
Well, I know, and that's fine. And that's fine. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. I really don't care.
It'll be fine.
I'm just saying that it's not... You say that it's not that bad, but it literally broke BJ down. He didn't want to play anymore.
Let me rephrase. It's the worst thing you could deal with, and I don't know how you guys do it. Let me just go that route. How about we go that conversation?
Well, and that's what I was saying earlier. Is I actually really like Iceborne. I love playing the game. I don't want to do it competitively or speedrunning at all because it fucking sucks. But just casually playing the game without worrying about Drunkbird, without worrying about my times, without worrying about getting hit, all that shit. It's a really fun game. I absolutely love it. But
there's a lot of fun.
If you try to optimize it, I think Capcom made the game specifically to fuck on all the speedrunners. Like, there's so much shit that doesn't need to be in the game. Or you could just have, like, if we had, like, our own, like, speedrun mode, like, it would be so much better. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just super fucking
No, you're
trash
spot
at this
on,
point.
dude. No, that's
But,
exactly what
like,
we need is a speedrun default mechanism.
Yeah, like it feels like they tried so hard to make it casual friendly that they just shit on all the people who wanted to play it seriously.
Yeah.
Maybe they saw what we did with Velkana in the beta when they said,
Okay, I can't. You brought that up. I brought it up in my last video. I am so pissed off about Light Bowgun. I loved the beta so much because Light Bowgun was a champ. It had recoil 1 on rapid fire elements with 1 recoil mod, 1 reload mod. It was fine. It had the 3rd mod, which had Wyvern counter mines, which were fucking amazing. And they didn't have a 4th mod slot. And right now, all our bowguns are absolutely shit by comparison to the beta bowgun. I feel left out. The beta was so much more fun than the base game that I'm mad. And that was the same with the base game as well. Base Monster Hunter World, I had so much more fun with the beta than I did with the actual game.
yeah, for sure. But the thing is, they're bringing out the Horizon collaboration, like with the new Horizon thing, and they're gonna add a light bowgun. And
okay, now
in the dev diary they said it will have some sort of special feature.
Okay, fuck whatever the dev diary says. I don't care what they say.
More Velk, 20% more Velkana.
The only reason why I want a new siege monster is because I want a whole new set of weapons that Cove brought, and I know only 2 of them are going to be any good. But the bowguns we have right now are absolute shit, just like they were in the base game, because the bowguns MO types don't change from high rank to master rank. I've pointed this out many times. That's why all our bowguns are shit. We're in the same fucking shitty meta. And while light bowguns have a lot more options than they do now, if they had the same bowguns like that we did in the beta, if the beta was an accurate representation of what the actual base game was going to be, we would be way better off. Elemental would be just as good as the raw would. Stickies would be just as good as everything else would. But no, we don't. I don't trust Capcom to make bowguns and bows and shit like that. So the Horizon shit, I don't care about. The Cove shit, I care about because there's a chance that 1 in a dozen weapons might be good. But other than that, fuck it. I don't care. I don't know where I was going with this, but that's it.
You're gonna regret your words when the light bowgun hits. You're gonna make a video that
I hope that the Horizon light bowgun has rapid fire recoil 1 elemental ammo, because it's clearly an elemental light bowgun. It's gonna be thunder because it's fucking Horizon. And then if it has anything else, great. Otherwise, it's gonna be shit. It's not gonna compete with anything else. The Horizon bow was trash beyond belief. The bowgun better be at least decent and usable. Like, we got the Wyvern Ignition, which was the hands down best greatsword for the entirety of the game. Why aren't other collab weapons like that? Oh, speaking of which, what do you guys think about the new charge blade, the Blackwing charge blade? Do you think it's gonna be like the Wyvern Ignition or what?
I'm sure it's gonna be like the Wyvern Ignition.
You think it's gonna be an elemental file, or is it gonna be impact file?
I think it's gonna.
That I couldn't tell you.
Jen, stop playing the game. We're talking here.
I'm listening.
But I don't know.
I just don't know. This is a tough one.
It's Iceborne, and Iceborne is elemental update.
Well, okay, if you notice,
supposedly.
So we got the guidebook out, and I made an elemental light bowgun or an elemental bowgun video, and apparently people have corrected me, and that the elemental MO all got nerfed, which makes sense because all the elemental attacks from base game to master rank got fucking nerfed. Everything did. And then they increased it by giving us level 6 element and then higher crit element values. But we're basically getting the same total value because they nerfed all the elemental scaling from before. So it's like, what the fuck? It's the same damage. Yeah, we're getting the same elemental out of it, basically.
Useless! Just like I was talking about, the biggest problem in this game, 90% of the shit being useless.
So like when we get shit like that, it's like, yeah, I don't really trust, you know, anything that comes out. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Fuck it.
Keep drinking, bro. Keep drinking. We're good, man.
I'm on it. This wire is really fucking good. Just shit's crazy. I showed it earlier on stream.
We can't really communicate. That's the whole thing.
I'm having trouble talking, but yeah.
Starts off good, and then it just kind of, drifts off.
Yeah,
That's his thing.
we're going downhill.
Good.
Thoughts? Anyone on what the fuck we were talking about? I lost track.
I'm more excited about your wine drinking, bro.
We're talking about well, I was just addressing the Horizon Zero Dawn update that, like, they said
for one day, the 1 day update.
No. That's Resident Evil. Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's Resident Evil.
Just as good.
So, they said that the light bowgun will have some new mechanics, some special shit, right? So, I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see what that might be, because, like, it could be something really simple, like, oh, it has some glowing effect or whatever, depending on the ammo you load, right? Up to, like, I don't know, fucking maybe give all ammo lightning damage.
Well, okay, so we had modded out bowguns in the base game because I had Arati and Hex and our Asterisk make a bunch of bowguns for me to play around with in base game, and I absolutely love them for that.
Good ones too. I can't believe a lot of them didn't make it in.
Well, and that's the thing. Is so we did have elemental bowguns that had base elemental value. So if you put elemental value on a bowgun, it does apply that to every single shot. Now you can't stack double element. Like if you have a thunder element bowgun and you shoot water ammo, you're not doing thunder and water. But if you have raw element ammo, like spreads, normals, and pierce, the element from the weapon does tack on to every single shot, which is pretty amazing. Yeah. Now, if the Horizon bowgun is like that, holy fucking shit, that would be amazing. And yes, that would open up the doors to so much shit that they could do, because we've never had base elemental value bowguns in any Monster Hunter, and that would be amazing. I don't think Capcom's gonna go that far though. I really don't. I think they're gonna do some special, like, hey, it's got rapid fire. I don't know, something stupid like rapid fire stickies, or I mean rapid fire slice, because no one's got that. That's unique. But I don't think they're gonna go that far. If they do, great. Fuck me, right? That'd be fine. But I don't think Capcom knows what they're doing in terms of bowguns, and that I say that because of the shit I see with the beta, the arena sets, and how the bowguns are made in real game. I don't think they have any idea what they're doing. They make all the bowguns exactly the same across the board, and it annoys the shit out of me.
Like most of them, like, I don't know, you open the ammo menu to look at, like, the capacity and what you can actually use with that bowgun. It's 90% of the time, it's just like instant, okay, no, I'm not gonna use that.
Fuck it.
Success!
Whatever, I just removed everybody because Sybil ruined the whole thing, but it's fine.
Sybil, we were looking for you hours ago. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Well,
maybe next time, Sybil, because all right. What do you want to say? Well, in the meantime, Sybil. So everyone, if you don't know, we got Sybil over here, who is
ladies and gentlemen, the world's best Monster Hunter player.
Yeah, literally the world's best Monster Hunter player. If you think you can beat him, get the fuck out of here, because you can't. You just straight up can't. Nobody in the world can. If you think you can,
y'all
literally
shit.
Get lobotomized, because you can.
Get lobotomized.
So, Sybil,
get your brain cut
we've been
in half.
talking about literally everything from Clutch Claw to Drunk Bird to, possible arc-tempered monsters, KT loot, how all the shit weapons are shit, event quests, shit like that. What do you got?
What do I got about that? Well, okay. Clutch Claw, you know me. Like,
You haven't played Iceborne, you get to talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't play the game, but I don't like having to stop fighting the monster, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
Is that logical? Well, the idea behind it is cool. The whole tenderizing thing, like, it is a little bit strategic. It has cool moves depending on the weapons you use, but it feels so forced. Like every time, like, you have to stop your flow to do that. Monster behavior is gonna be exploited by topple or stagger, wake up into that Klager thing. I don't know if you mentioned it, how you call it.
Yeah, the Clagger. Yeah.
Which is a chance to tenderize usually. It's like the game is telling you tenderize now, and it's usually worth it.
Right, because it stops the monster entirely. It stops the whole
Yeah.
momentum of the fight.
It breaks the
Yeah.
flow of the fight too.
Yeah.
Like when you're watching it. It's
Yeah, it
like
sucks.
why the fuck does the monster just sit there for 5 seconds drooling instead of trying to
Yeah.
I don't know do anything else?
Well, that's why actually I like Rajang because of that, because Rajang will actually be like, fuck you, and throw you off his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Like it is cool as. Anyway, yeah. I mean, that's about how much I can talk without playing the game yet. But yeah, I've seen this closely. Like I've been following some runs. Drunkbird, you said earlier. Drunkbird, are we speaking speedrunning wise or doing runs videos? Because that thing fucking sucks, guys. Like Drunkbird, it sucks, and I've heard a lot of players, a lot of runners, like whatever the general player base, but especially runners, saying that now. Am I mistaken that the Drunkbird chance is higher now compared to the
It's
base
basically
game?
100%.
higher.
Like, well, it's like 60%. You're gonna get dropped off either right in front of the monster, or at the rare ore mineral shit that gives you like high rank materials, which is garbage, or you're gonna get dropped off at camp. But for the most part, yeah, it's like there's a 60% chance that you're gonna dropped off somewhere besides the camp.
All right.
Okay, that's a lot. For me, not getting exactly where you choose to go, it's annoying in this game. I knew it was because, okay, let me clarify this. Like, I've first played the series like 14 years ago. All okay, I was like a teen or whatever. When we had Drunkbird in the older games, it felt like Momonga might remember this. You
Yeah.
were going at some hidden area sometimes, or bonus
Yeah.
areas.
They handled it differently. Like
Whoa! I'm not that old. I've played old games too.
Nah.
Yeah.
Shut up,
The old
Sybil.
It either put you in like a random
Femi
area
might be
or
older
somewhere
than
on the
me.
map.
Well, but okay, that's the difference though. So Drunkbird in the old games was fine because you couldn't just travel
yeah.
to like 5 different places on the map. You got dropped
Exactly.
off, and every single time you got dropped off, you were closer to the monster than you would be if you started at camp.
Right.
Every time, guaranteed. It was fine.
Yeah.
You would have to reset if you
Yeah,
got like
that's
way
right,
too
that's
far
right.
away. But it was fine in the old games because you had no other means of getting closer to the monster.
Right.
Yeah.
And the rare material spawns they had, like they were like really special areas that you couldn't reach them otherwise.
Right.
Like, you could only reach them by spawning there. And they had really rare materials, like good materials.
Yeah,
just
not like
some
fucking
armor
hard
spheres.
armor spheres, high rank armor spheres for being G rank maps on a rare spawn. Fuck that shit.
Exactly. There
Yeah.
was actually use for that items, and there was also a food skill that allowed you to 100% spawn at those rare spawns. It was called Feline Explorer.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're right about the daily. And yeah, I totally agree. I mean, okay, obviously, speaking about speedrunning, this thing sucks not be able to control where you wanna land or having a rare chance for you to get really close to the monster, but being a very rare thing like ruins your whole chances, your whole strategy behind it. Because if you have to rely on it, it adds a whole different variable. It makes it even more time consuming.
Yeah.
Yep.
It kills every run that isn't Drunkbird spawn.
Yeah, you have to get the spawn.
Yeah, now being more common doesn't help it at all. I mean, you know how it is. Like it encourages you more, but then it means more of the runners are gonna try to do that. Okay, I can't speak about this much. What I can say is that it's not a welcome addition anyway, even if you're not speedrunning. I don't like the idea in this game to have the choice of being able to go to whatever camp you want, and magically, for no reason, the game deciding you to, like your bird getting fucking drunk, you know, I don't know, drink absinthe, doing fucking zigzags in the air and dropping you something randomly. Why do you include the option for the player to go wherever he wants and then like add the fun RNG element, like a surprise in the hands to drop you whatever the fuck the bird wants?
And that's what I had
randomly.
mentioned
But I don't
before a
get
couple
that.
times, is that it feels like this game was made intentionally to stop speedrunning outside of like arena and whatever challenge events.
By the way, okay, I want to ask something. Jin, why are you speaking? What are you doing,
What's up?
Jin?
Jin's
Yeah, I
doing
wanna hear you, I
fucking
wanna hear you.
Nargacuga runs over here as we're talking.
Okay.
Nah, man, I'm listening to all you guys. Sabel just showed up, dude. I want to let him time going on. Mamoga
Guys.
already, doing his thing. You're already
Jin,
out
I'm
here
gonna
doing
like
most-
Photoshop Dale from King of the Hill over you.
Are you serious? Why? Well, why would you do that?
I
Why
don't
is it so
know. It
disres-
just seems right.
It's alright.
Sabel was speaking his thing. Mamonga spoke his thing. You were leading the conversation. What do you want me to say? What would you like?
It's fine. It's fine. I don't know how far I am into. Like, it seems like you guys almost finished your podcast.
Yeah, basically, and you just
Yeah,
decided
Sabel,
to jump
you were
in.
really, really bad and you f***ed up. Yes, you're useless and you should have been here hours ago. You fuck.
I DM'd you like
Yeah.
6 times, dude.
Yeah.
Sabel, he literally sent a cow mail. I don't know if you know what that means. Mail from whatever government you have. Like, that came through and you should have woke up. We needed you. We need you. Cow mail.
Yeah.
Cow mail.
God damn it. Jin.
So,
If I
if
tell
you
what
guys don't
happened,
know,
you'll do it.
anyone who's still actually watching it at this point, Sybil over here is going to be my second player on 2-player TA runs, which we're going to pioneer on PC because nobody's doing that right now for some stupid reason.
Oh my god.
2-player is Peak Monster Hunter, by the way. Fuck everyone that does solo arena shit. You guys suck. I don't care what you guys say.
Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Okay.
2-player is where it's at.
2-play is gonna be good.
2-player is something I've been waiting though. That's a good thing now.
I look
Okay.
forward to both of you being clinically and cutting yourselves.
Probably. I was doing TA runs with Tasty the other day.
Yeah.
We're doing a 2-player bow on TO. We went through 4 hours of runs and didn't get a single kill just because of the limp.
Wow.
Because
Oh,
I got an
that's the
impression,
game. You can't
I
stop the
trust in the
limp.
voice
You just
chat.
can't. You
Gotta
can't
love
do
the
it.
limp.
Fuck it.
Yeah, which is
It
something
sounds great.
I wanted to talk about as well. The fucking limp.
Go for it. I know you haven't played Iceborne, but your opinion's as valid as anyone else's, right? Wink, wink.
I mean, same thing as the Clutch Claw. Like, even worse. The Clutch Claw at least has a cool idea behind it. Has some application. Like, it's cool, okay. Kinda. The limp? I mean, what is this now? Every time you actually wanna finish the hunt, it's basically impossible now to stop the monster from what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
cannot. You like if
almost
you stagger a
impossible.
monster, the monster will stagger, but it will continue to limp off.
Right.
Yeah, okay, I think it was perfect in the base game. Like, the limp idea was perfect.
I
Okay,
loved it in the
the
base game. Yeah, the monster
the
would limp
monster
away,
starts
but
to
if you could
The monsters
stagger
were
it,
weak.
it would
Right.
continue to fight.
Because
Yeah.
it also makes sense, right? The monster starts to run away because it realizes, oh shit, I'm about to die, I can't win the fight. But you continue to deal damage, and the monster's like, okay, if I keep running, I'm gonna die, so might as well fight.
Right.
And
it's
now
a
the monster's like,
fight or
oh
flight
no,
kinda thing.
gotta get away.
Yeah, but now it's like, oh wait, I realize I'm faster than this hunter. Let me flip and limp off with my diamond ass over here while the hunter tries to stop me.
Right.
Momonga, you know what? What I agree upon. Like, if you remember the old games, monster, I think, tend to change areas as well, or it was hard to stop them.
No, it was fine in the older games too. Okay, the older games, yeah, they limped off and they didn't stop. If you staggered a monster in the older games, they would continue to limp off and
Right.
do that shit. The problem is with the older games, you could actually kill them before they ran away because they would limp and then they would continue to limp to like the one little section. I'm sorry.
No,
go ahead.
Femi, yeah, I totally agree. It wasn't exactly how I wanted to approach this. All I want to say is, yeah, it was a good thing that you actually finished the fight. But right here in World, Actually, in the base game, it was good. Okay, the monsters tend to limp too easily as well, but you had the options to stop them. The
Right.
monsters were very weak compared to the high rank gear we had. I believe that. Like,
Oh,
the
yeah, for
world
sure.
was a very easy game.
Yeah,
but
it
at
was
least-
too easy. Everyone agrees with that.
At least it was working good on these aspects. Now, Iceborne, I don't see why they had to make a design change about the fucking limp. Because the monsters are stronger. Your gear is stronger, though.
Not really. Come on, not
Well,
really.
yeah.
We have the exact
I mean-
same sets as we did in high rank as we do in G rank.
In theory, I think.
Yeah, okay, but I mean, they didn't have to change it. They didn't have to change the limping.
They
It
didn't. Well,
would've
that's
been
okay.
fine
So
or even
you
better.
weren't here for the whole conversation, Sybil, but I
Yeah.
personally believe that Capcom had made this game to distract or discourage people from playing in a competitive speedrunning manner outside of the arena and competitive quests that they set up.
Yeah, you mentioned this before.
Did I?
It's
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's fine. Why do? On what level do you believe that? Like, do you firmly believe that
Well,
this is a deliberate choice?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Why would you add Junkbird, Unstoppable Limbs, HP roll, size roll, spawn roll, your spawn roll on every fucking quest and then not include optional quests for all the monsters? You have to cycle like investigations and special arenas and shit like that to get some of the monsters done. Unless you're going out of your way to make sure that the speedrun and the hardcore community can't do it. And then also, as Momonga had, set up earlier, we could easily do like, hey, you record your times like you do in an arena time on an optional, and then you'd show up on the leaderboards, and that would promote everyone from running more optimal and playing more efficiently, because they would see the leaderboards on how they did compared to everyone else, and you would get points from how you ranked in the leaderboards, and you could get like layered armors for points and shit like that. I don't know. We discussed this hours ago. And
Yeah.
it could be
Indeed.
so much better optimized for just playing better, but it's not. And I am fucking drunk.
Yeah, I think
guess.
Capcom took with Monster Hunter World in general. They wanted to see, or let's say, they wanted to show the people what Monster Hunter could be. Like, they put a lot of focus on how the game looks, how it feels to walk around the environment and stuff, right? They emphasize a lot on exploring.
And then they
And-
drunk bird you in front of the monster.
Right, which kind of doesn't make sense. Why? Like, the old drunk bird at least makes sense that it drops you somewhere on the map that maybe the area you don't even go to because no monster spawns there. So you've never been in that area, but now you realize, oh, there's like 2 ore nodes here that I can mine. So that's nice for farming whenever you're in that area, right? And I think they took out the optional quests to promote the guiding lens and
No.
the
It's promote the
investigations.
event quest, because a lot of the monsters have event optionals.
Right.
And that's fucking shitty. I hate that so much.
Well, yes and no. I think event quests can be very good, but the problem with event quests is that they're not like in old games, right? They don't stay, they rotate.
Right,
And
and
they're-
that's a problem. Because
they're
like
not
monsters
available.
like Silverlos and Gold Rathain, they don't have optionals, but they do have
Right.
event quests that act as optionals, and they're temporary.
Exactly, but event quests in a sense are better because in at least some of them, the HP roll for the monster is fixed.
Right, and
Right.
that's cool.
And so-
That's I'm totally
sometimes
fine with
the
that.
sizes are fixed for monsters.
I just wish that those were the optionals, not on a rotation. So everyone who is serious about the game and wants to speedrun, they have to do it in this weak bracket where that quest is
Right.
available.
Mhm.
Because how are you gonna figure out a setup for a monster, or how are you gonna realistically improve your time to like a competitive level when you're just starting out running, and you pick Gold Rathain because you really like the monster, whatever, you like the fight, so you want.
Who is picking Gold Rathain and
Um,
jumping right?
Whoa,
What
pause.
kind of
Gold
savage is that?
Rathain is a good fight, by the way. Gold Rathain's a great fight.
Yeah, it's a cool monster.
Sure, yeah, but it ain't the fucking the shallow end of the fucking pool. Like, what are you talking about?
No, Gold Rathain's top tier, dude. It's a good fight.
Yes, but it's not easy.
It's so fucking easy. I don't care if you care about easy. It's a good fight. Nobody cares about easy. If you care about easy, play Base World. I don't give a shit.
Everything is easy, basically. It's just
No,
a matter
what's not
of
easy is
perspective.
Silverlos.
What do you mean
Silverlos
everything
is not
You told me
easy.
and 2 weeks ago you didn't do it. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about?
Listen.
This
what I
game
mean
has
is-
some hard shit to do. The
Yeah,
very difficult stuff.
I know. There's difficult stuff. I'm not trying to discredit
Oh,
anything.
hell no.
Let me finish my sentence, man.
Not bad.
What I mean is that with enough practice, hard things become easier. That's just how things are, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't start out as, like, I don't know, Master League player in whatever game.
Sybil does.
Yeah.
Sybil does, for sure. He dropped and he was like, yeah, I got
No, guys, like you have
Fuck
can't
you,
compare
Sybil.
other
I don't
people
care
to
what
no
you have to
fucking
say.
idea.
Sybil showed up out of nowhere. It's like, I'm gonna take world records on everything. Fuck all you
Yeah.
guys.
I remember
I
when you
don't
were
know.
hunting that TA record for Teostra.
Yeah.
You were so happy, like, oh yeah, I finally got the sub 1.
No, okay. You guys don't know. What I know Sybil when he first showed up on the scene doing spread versus base TO and using fucking Pierce on his auto combine list because he's a fucking jackass and he still gets record times. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? He's gotta be cheating. But
Wait. You actually remember that?
Sybil, I know all
Wait.
about you. You don't think I watch all your shit, Sybil.
Wait. How the fuck I forgot that I had Pierce?
Yeah, I know,
My-
Sybil. Trust me, I'm like the all-seeing eye of Sauron over here. I see the runs. Trust me.
Yeah.
Oh my
but
God.
you can't compare normal people to that, right? If
Right.
you want to compare everybody to that level of expertise and skill and natural talent, then
Okay, I think you're stretching it a little bit, but anyway, yeah. It's true that before I started speaking with Phemeto, it was a little weird how I started making an appearance with the whole YouTube thing. Like I was trying to get a good time at something, whatever it was, and I got fucking glutton accidentally, and I'm like, whoa, this does a lot of damage.
Because
compared to
glutton is
anything else.
glutton.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna use this. That was my initial thought, guys. I didn't know it was so easy to get like good times. But
It's so easy. Glutton is stupid. If you look at every heavy bowgun, like everything's like
just literally
clip-
look at what
clip 4,
Yeah.
clip 5, normal
Real tough,
2,
real
slow
tough.
reload, fine. Glutton
Yeah,
shows
I mean,
up,
guys, I
clip
had
8,
no
fast
idea
reload,
back
normal
then.
recoil. I can't
yeah.
speak.
Anyway, I mean, okay, we can talk like about all these things, whatever you want, but yeah, about what you were saying earlier though. This current thing.
Sabel, here's what we need. We need a photo of you doing one world record in Iceborne or feeding on your next victim as a daywalker. Which one do you want to do first?
Once
I would wanna
Iceborne
do
hits
simultaneously, I
PC,
guess.
Sybil is being a conjoined twin to me. That's what's gonna happen.
Holy shit, dude, it's gonna be.
Yeah, no,
most,
seriously, day one. I don't care. Sibyl's gonna fucking throw up the cheat engine. I don't give a shit. We're gonna start running shit day one. I don't care.
Okay. I mean, I have to learn the game first.
No, you know how to play the game. You shoot, and if clutch call happens, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. Fucking just keep shooting.
He's got it written out. He's gonna do all the claws. He'll do all the.
That's how it is with me and Tasty, man. We're doing double bow on Tio. I'll do the claws. Don't worry about it, man. Just fucking keep shooting.
Okay.
I mean, that's a way to fix the claw problem on light weapons, right? If everybody does 2-player runs now.
It is
you can
actually
always pair
you. Very good
heavy
point,
weapon.
Momo. Like me and Tasty were doing 2-player bow versus Tio, and we had to alternate between who wants to do claw and who doesn't because we only needed one claw. We had 2 players, but I always ended up doing it because I was closer. But it's like one person could just fucking ignore it and just keep the DPS up. It actually makes 2-player TA totally different than single player because one person can keep damaging.
Exactly. And you also have the option to pair a light weapon with a heavy weapon. So,
You could, but that'd be inferior because bow's the best weapon.
glutton.
All right. Shh. Fair.
Glutton
Do like
is
bow
dead.
glutton.
No, it's not.
Glutton and Bow, you cast those aside, and everything else is in their own tier. But you got to put Bow and Glutton aside.
Yeah. Right now it's Z mates with Z. It's Bow, obviously. Hammer is very strong.
Hammer is
Greatsword
crazy
is very
fucking
strong.
strong, by the way.
Hammer's doing okay.
You could maybe do like a aerial hammer bow setup.
Also, Greatsword is
Beautiful.
fucking killer right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Yeah. And
And
great sword is
everything
also a
else
heavy
is
weapon.
way below.
Isn't that crazy
That's
though?
almost-
Like we were talking about that earlier, but yeah, like outside the weapons that actually have good like claw moves and can actually keep stuff up, like everything else is shit. Like really shit.
Yeah. Okay, let me put it like this, fam. Imagine that bow is still so fucking strong, considering it's a light weapon and you have to double tenderize or whatever.
And it got nerfed significantly.
Yeah,
It got a
yeah,
30%
of
damage
course,
nerf
yeah.
across the board.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Bow
Don't
is
say it.
ridiculous. Whoever thought Bow actually got nerfed, I hate to break it to you, Bow is still the best weapon in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks to me. I don't know. It looks even more amazing than before in some aspects, not everything.
No,
KO
the KO, fuck it. Who cares about the KO? You get one off in a hunt if you really need it. Don't worry about it. Other than that, though, the damage is ridiculous. And 1,000 Dragons, as bad as it is great for an immediate stagger. You can wake up a monster, stagger them immediately with 1,000 Dragons. Great, you're good to
And
go.
you can also use it as a cool finisher, right?
yeah,
fam.
this is a cool finisher. Yeah.
Guys, I'm waiting to see when everyone is gonna start playing on PC and everyone is gonna use like overlays, TAs, non-TAs, I don't really know, and everyone is gonna try to finish with 1,000 Dragons or whatever it's called. Like
No,
like
I don't think
strategize.
that's going to be as extreme because 1,000 Dragons, as cool as it is, it's still not as best DPS as Dash Dancing. Dash Dancing for finishing off a monster, sure, but on a wake up to try to stop the limp for a second, yeah, everyone's going to 1,000 Dragons. They're going to plan out the damage and see that it's 1,000 damage range or 1,000 Dragons range, whatever it is. I can't talk.
So it's still a little worse, like for the downtime you
you-
have to actually shoot.
Yeah,
Or,
Can you 1,000 dragons after power shot?
you can. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
that's what I mean. Like you go the last 3 hits to save a little bit of time.
Well, okay, it's not very time efficient because you have to load it in and shoot it. The actual animation for doing it and the recovery is fucking shit. Trust me. It's only good if you want to wake up a monster with 1,000 dragons to immediately put him over the stagger threshold one more time. Which is great
Well,
for stuff
if-
like
if
Tio and
last-
Velkana that'll topple the monster immediately. Also like Shala. Great. Other than
Yeah.
that, not so much.
But like the recoil thing doesn't matter if the monster dies after that hit.
Okay, if you're gonna finish off
That's
a
what I mean.
monster with 1,000 dragons, you're better off dash dancing. Trust me.
Yeah. I
faster?
know what Phemeto is meaning, Womonga, because the thing is not also about the recoil. It is about the downtime from a previous combo to actually executing the 1,000 dragons. Like, I think you stop quite for a while to do that.
You
If
stop a
actually just
long
dash
time.
dance-
I mathed it out a little
Yeah.
bit. It's not efficient at all. It's
Oh,
great
yeah,
because it's a
trust
big
me.
burst of
You
damage.
mapped
and-
it out before you drank half a bottle of prior.
Jin, I have no idea what you just said, to be honest.
When did you do the math? Post or pre drinking the bottle of wine?
It was back in Iceborne beta.
Then it's valid. Hey, I'll shut the fuck up. It's valid. Go.
Okay, yeah. I did math it out, and it seemed it's a good damage. It's definitely good damage. The problem is it takes too long and it have too long a recoil. But if you're waking up a monster that's near stagger threshold already and you need to topple them immediately or cause a stagger, great, fucking do it.
Okay.
I don't know
Alright,
what we're
fuck
talking
it.
about anymore.
I don't know what the fuck all you guys are.
It's fine, it's fine. You guys probably talk about
good.
everything. I wanted to
Okay.
ask, did you look at runs and do that commentating thing? Or...
We looked at one run and then we kept getting sidetracked. We talked about
My crippling depression was more important.
yeah, we talked about Ox's Gunlance run versus Acidic Lab because it perfectly highlighted that butt clutch claw because Gunlance is better off just spamming long shells anyway. We
And
briefly
it's
talked
exciting
about
that Gunlance is the biggest weapon.
yeah. We talked about
That's very
Jin's
good.
2-minute aerial heavy bowgun versus Narg, and we showed it a bunch of times because it's
Hammer,
fucking
right?
competing with heavy bowgun damage from non-TA times, which is absolutely insane. Hammer is
Yeah, that's
crazy.
insane. That's insane. On the game.
We had
Like,
also
Hammer is very
shown
strong.
Canta Permi's TA Devil Joe run with dual blades, which was faster than like Savage Axe Charge Blade and not Longsword. I think Longsword got reduced down, but Canta's dual blades runs versus Savage Joe was crazy because I mean Canta's
It
good.
came out before all that
I
other stuff
haven't
came
seen
Yeah.
out. It was
It
before.
came out before, yeah. And Canta is good, trust me, but he's not like known for doing speedruns constantly. And his
He
dual
doesn't
blade
need
runs,
to. The dude's
He's
good enough. He
crazy.
can
He's
drop
crazy good.
like 3
Yeah, he's
minutes
good.
behind everyone
he's
else.
constant. He's
scores millions-
consistent, and that's the thing. He's very consistent. He could just be like
Right.
casually on stream, I'm gonna do this Devil Joe run, TA, and fucking crush everyone else. And he puts it
I
up,
like
and I looked at his
Canta.
run, and his
Yeah.
run's really good for, especially for dual blades. Like it's crazy.
Right.
So we did that. I briefly showed off the Gold Rathain arena runs between Kurohai and SSH because that is a war that's been going on forever.
Did you really do all these things? I'm hammered. And I feel like
Yeah, sorry,
you
I've been
did
playing
any of this shit.
videos
Did-
like on loop for like the past 2 hours. And I only had
Okay,
30
'cause,
minutes
like,
of
I've been
videos.
looking at the manga and like as a
Yeah, I
I
had
don't
30
see-
minutes of
Bro.
videos, and we were on 2.5 hours in, and I've been playing these videos. But Kurohai and SSH have been doing an arena war forever, and they're trying to get sub 150 whatever fuck what I'm talking about, sub 150 Gold Rathain with bow,
Yeah.
and they're creaming it. If you want to talk about bow runners, Kurohai and SSH are just neck and neck right now.
Can you give me that name again, starting with the K? Can you hit that one more?
Kurohai.
Kuroha.
Kurohai. I don't know. Kurohai. I don't know. I can't speak. Leave me alone. I'm fucking drunk beyond all I can imagine right now.
It's fine.
As long as you hit
but
those
anyway,
consonants,
their
we're
runs
good,
are
homie.
cool.
Don't worry about it.
I talk to SSH all the time on Discord now since he's actually active again. He's so cool. I don't talk to Kurohai much other than Twitter, but I am glad to see that there is some rivalry going on between the speedrunning community because it's fun to see. I can't compete with these two people.
hype.
Not in a long shot. Fuck that. But these two guys are crushing it on
Come
controllers
on.
right
You
now.
just don't wear the fucking mantle, dude.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
crazy.
I'll also agree
But
that just
good,
because
they're
you don't
good.
want to fucking grab
Yeah.
a bitch,
Yeah.
just because you can't just punk out like that. You no coping, no.
No coping
no,
allowed.
this
That's right.
Not here, not here.
And then
not here.
we showed some other videos, like I think I already talked about Jin's hammer run, which is competing with the Heavy Bowgun, and then Olay has been posting a bunch of runs, like event against Volcana and whatnot. But Olay is still cutting out the openings of his runs, and I don't
What
get
did you
that
say
at all.
about that? Exactly.
He
Yeah,
like,
what did you say
especially
about
it's non-TA. Why the fuck is he cutting out his runs? Like people are gonna steal his strategies. Does it even matter?
Yeah.
For all two
Yeah.
people that could
Bro, you're a
possibly be
shampoo
created?
bottle. You ain't shit. Nobody wants your stuff, you fucking whack ass hair model. Get the fuck out
Shut
of
up,
here.
Jin.
Get out of here with that bullshit. Cutting out your fucking runs. You fucking loser. I don't want to hear that bullshit.
Like
Oh my god.
I get it because you don't want to.
Cuts out their runs.
Well, okay.
Who does that? Like, honest to God.
It doesn't make any sense because you're not gaining anything for doing Monster Hunter runs. Trust me, if you're playing Monster Hunter for speedrunning, you're fucking stupid. Trust me.
Okay.
But
okay, I have.
if
this
you're cutting out
impression-
runs because you think other people are gonna steal your strat, come on, dude.
Do you remember when we had that discussion, Phemeto, about Olay possibly? I don't know who was saying he was doing it for other platforms or Bilibili or whatever. Guys, I don't know. I've shared a lot of theories and about the watermark thing.
Does
as well.
Olay have a Billy account?
I guess.
I think he had a
I guess,
problem
I'm
with
not
people
sure.
stealing his runs and uploading them on Viability.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Was that a
maybe-
thing?
That's why he put the
Yeah, yeah.
YouTube logo on it.
Oh,
very
okay, that makes sense. I'm sorry, Olay.
I'm
If you
gonna
actually
tell
see
the
this,
funny
I
thing
am
right
really
now.
sorry because if that's actually a legitimate reason, that's fine. That's fine.
But that
My
that's
Eddie
only...
Mergy on Bilibili has around like 50k views or something, and it was uploaded like a month ago after I deleted the YouTube.
If there's
It
a
has, like,
legitimate reason that
50K.
he's cutting his runs, then please cut out me knocking him really, really hard. Otherwise, put
No,
that shit up front.
Jen, I'm
Yeah, no,
uploading
that's
this
just
raw,
for
by the way.
YouTube logo.
You
on
piece
the
of
front.
shit, don't you dare.
I don't understand why he cuts his runs either.
Okay,
Because, like-
well, in the
He
beta,
has a small penis. He has a small penis.
well,
That's all.
in the
It's a very
beta,
tiny one.
I could understand it because in the beta, you know, there's not very many runs to go around, and if you're trying to be the best, you don't want people stealing your strats. You thought of
Right.
it. It's your idea. It's your thing.
If your
but in
wiener is tiny,
in
you'll
the
cut
base
off the
game-
front of it.
I don't understand it because honestly,
Okay.
the only thing that you can do is you can contribute to the community and show us what you're doing to make your runs faster than other people's. And honestly, Olay doesn't have any
Yeah.
competition with speedruns right now. No one's running Greatsword. TSC is running camera and shit too. No one's running TA Greatsword. I know Olay doesn't do TA, but I'm just saying, nobody does Greatsword else.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason for him to hide his runs unless he's just so afraid that other people are gonna beat him, that other people are better than him.
I think it's
Bitch
weird.
phone.
Exactly. I think it's
Bitch
weird
ass.
because
Bitch
let's assume, like Zin, no, for real, like hear this out. Let's assume that
I'm
Olay
being for real.
wants to hide the strats, you know, like
Yeah.
wants to hide the strats and keep
Must
the strats.
strats. Oh, must strats. Oh.
So even with that, how can you stand? How can you stand not showing like the whole video?
Right.
Well, he doesn't run TA, so he doesn't have to prove it to anyone. All he has to do is show his time at the end. That's all that matters. If you're doing run non-TA, all that matters is you have the fastest time. Who cares about what happens in between start of the hunt and the end of the hunt?
Yeah, I guess it's
Well,
it's
it's
a middle
important
ground.
because-
Then, yeah.
I mean, it's important for people who want to learn and people who want to improve their own runs, but to Olay, doesn't matter. You started the hunt. Your hunt is this time. If you're running non-TA, it doesn't fucking matter because anything goes.
Right, but like in every speedrunning community, there's like for speedruns in general, right? There's guidelines to like the videos.
Well, no,
themselves.
and I get that. Momo, I get that 100%. Monster Hunter is odd because nobody cares about the speedrunning community. Two, we're very competitive beyond more than other speedrunning communities because for whatever reason, other speedrunning communities like to help each other. We don't. We like to compete. It's weird. And
Yeah,
three,
that's very weird to me.
it's not even a money thing. It's more of an ego thing than anything.
Yeah, but
And okay,
like I don't know. I think
ego is common, I
If-
guess, in every competitive driven like communities or gaming
Yeah,
in general
sure.
or whatever. It's not only Monster Hunter. I mean, you've
Right.
seen
Yeah,
how
having an
Counter Strike
ego for
is,
something
and
that you don't get paid in.
I don't get paid.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I don't make any money off YouTube or Twitch.
Imagine giving a shit about something you don't make money. Imagine that. Just calling that out.
Jen, I give a shit. I care about the community. I care about people's knowledge. I care about everything. That's why I make YouTube
I care
videos.
about a lot of things.
But I
in
don't make
life
any money off of it.
that
at
don't
all.
give me money, right? Like, what kind of a sad life is it to only be interested in things that give you money, right? There's a lot more to life.
That's something poor people say, though.
Jen,
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
Jewish. Don't talk about that shit. I understand money.
I'm
trust
just
me.
saying, like, I mean, who could put? I mean, okay.
I know
I'm just
money's
saying.
nice to have.
maybe.
I'd love to have money, but I'm stuck in this fucking 30 square meter apartment.
I
Because,
guarantee
like,
you,
bro,
your apartment
No,
is
don't
bigger
you know
than
this whole
mine.
green thing? This is my whole green wall, bro. This is everything. Like, trust me. You ain't
this
the only
is
one
awesome.
struggling,
Dude,
bro.
you guys
all
don't
I
even
have.
know. I am literally surrounded by wine bottles and pizza boxes right now. I have an
Yeah,
8
me
by
too.
8 room, and that is my existence.
Man, when you do the overlay, make sure you do a quick pizza boxes from the past 15 days.
I
I've got,
shoved all
I'm a
the
pizza
things
connoisseur.
aside.
I have to admit, I've got pizza from Little Caesars. I got pizza from Domino's. I got from the local chain Pizza Guys. I got me and Ed's pizzas. I got all sorts of shit boxes in here. I don't know what I'm going on with. Go ahead and talk. Sorry, I'm sorry for
And I
interrupting.
take it Zin's green screen or green wall, whatever, it's bigger than our house combined.
Yeah, I unfortunately had to cut out
I'm
Jin
hiding
and
bullet holes.
Momo
I'm
once
hiding bullet holes
you
and
showed up.
fucking rat
Simple.
holes.
It's the plastic tent that Jin lives in.
Hell yeah, dude, he gets it. He knows what's up. I'm a fucking broke bitch.
Okay, dude. No, you're not convincing us.
It's all. It's the.
Anyway.
You've never seen a green tent. This one. Let me tell you, this green.
Jen,
Here we go.
I'm just gonna warn you, like through this entire podcast, which is now 2.5 hours in, you cut out every fucking half sentence. You keep stepping away from
Yeah.
your mic
Oh,
or
that's
something.
true.
I don't know.
That's true.
I'm literally sitting right next to it, so I must be that fat.
Yeah, get fatter. I don't know.
Get set. Get chubby.
So what I was saying is that I think it's important that even though we are like a competitively driven community, right? We want to have the best times, and if somebody goes for our time, we're there to defend it, right? And that's like good for pushing the game to its limits, right? It pushes discovery.
Right? Yeah.
And
It does.
going
It
for
does.
new strategies, looking what's possible in the game, maybe find something new. But if people are doing speedruns, right, which should be like the highest level of play, if people hide strategies from other people, not like just from the people that watch the speedrun, just like casual players that are interested, but other speedrunners as well. I mean, I get the competition, but like sharing, let's say, base information about the game, or that kind of stuff, like sharing strategies and what's possible in the game, I think is really important to push these discoveries to be like fit for speedrunning.
Yeah, and I agree 100%, and that's why we have these speedrun discords, you know, with
Right.
Rainies and TSCs and Jins, and I think that's great because we talk about our speedruns and we show kind of how we're doing it. And I don't want to, you know, push blame towards the Eastern community, but we can't exactly speak the same language and we don't talk.
Right.
And that's the thing. And if they want to hide their strategies because they don't have the same mindset that we do, I mean, who are we to judge? That's fine. We didn't express our interests. We didn't, you know, tell them, hey, come join our Discord because we want to talk about our runs and all that shit and improve the community.
That's true, I guess.
But
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, it is what it is.
Right. But it's like, you want competition though in a run, right?
Right.
Like,
Everyone wants
there-
competition.
there's
Of course.
Hey,
you can't
can other
take
people
pride
run
in
TA
having
Heavy
world
Bowgun,
record.
please? Because nobody fucking does it.
Yeah, you can't take pride in a record
that's
that
true.
like only 2 people in the world are competing for. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, if you didn't get first, you'd get second. Wow, what an achievement.
Yeah,
Right?
I get you,
So-
100%.
You want more people running that, but if it just seems so like what the fuck to people that are interested in it, right? You start to watch the video and it just cuts to the fight where the monster is locked, and you're like, okay, but how did he get the lock? What did he do? Right? You can't learn from that, so you can't improve.
Yeah.
So you can't compete with that. So there's never gonna be a time close to that.
Right. I get you. And can I pause for a second? And I'd like to say that I value everyone who runs bowguns. Even though I know me and my light bowgun don't see eye to eye and he hates my guts and we don't get along. I value every single bowgun speedrun and I watch every single one because I like to see what other people are doing. I like to see what people think. I like to see what stuff is viable. I like to see what other people are doing.
God damn, I
And-
just came back at the right time. Oh my god, let's
And
jump into that
I
right now.
wish
You and
we
Mai,
had-
why don't you get along?
We don't get along. I don't understand totally, but I know when World was still new, we played different games. He played GU a lot. He said World was trash. World speedrunning is not as intense, as optimal, as
So he was a bitch.
skilled as Gen U running. I get it. Because World's an easy
He was a
game.
bitch.
I get
He
it.
was a bitch then.
No, I
Okay.
mean, Mai's good. Mai's really good, trust me. But we don't see eye to
I'm sure
eye.
he's good. He can still be a bitch, bro.
And that's
Yeah.
fine. And nobody has to like me. I don't care because fuck everyone else. All you guys do. I don't
It's
care.
fine though. Yeah, that's
well,
weird.
but I
mean,
just like to
it.
say that-
it's one thing to not like someone, it's another thing to be.
Yeah.
No, and I don't
So
care.
Bell-
Jen, trust me, I don't care. People can say all
You
the
don't
shit they
need to
want.
care. I can knock somebody for being whack as fuck. We can take a 2-minute
But
detour
I
for me
would
to
just
just
like
point
to say
something out.
that all the bowgun runs are very valuable to me because our community is so tight knit. Even if we don't like each other, we still watch each other's runs. Even TSC included. I know a lot of people don't like him. People don't like his shit. People still watch his runs because
They're jealous. They're
you're
jealous.
yeah. And that's the
They're
runs.
jealous.
That's the good shit. And who cares about our ego at that point? It's all about the runs. It's all about optimizing the game. It's all about bettering everybody. And so, yeah, like when Olay does shit like cuts out half of his runs, it doesn't help anyone but himself, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Just shows he's a bitch. You cut out half your run. Oh, I don't want anybody to see it. Oh.
It's very funny because like 2 hours 30 or past or whatever in this podcast right now. When I came in,
Imagine making your idol a fucking shampoo bottle. Kill yourself.
Hey, that's a
but
cool
it looks-
mod.
it looks-
Fuck
it
you
Get
and thinking
fucked.
that's not a
Get
good
fucked.
mod. That's a good mod. Come
I
on.
mean, come on, I like that mod.
That is the best mod I've seen in World. Is the fucking Olay shampoo bottle.
It's even better than Olay himself, dude. Like the mod.
The mod transcends the
has me
player.
sold.
It's so good.
Yeah, exactly.
Never seen guys more excited about a cleaning product in my fucking life.
Trust me, dude, it's an amazing mod. I absolutely love it.
They need to see
damn.
we like silly things. Yeah. We could have this conversation about speedrunning. I mean, it has been commended in a podcast already.
Yeah, I think the podcast is running a little long. We're 2.5 or 2 3/4
Yeah.
hours into it.
Yeah, we're the same with Bobonga. Almost.
All right. Well, thank you for Moga for hanging around and being shit faced as much as we are. I cannot type properly right now because I've been drinking
Thanks
too
for
much
having
wine. Thank you, Jin and Sybil, for showing up eventually. We will be back for another session, I'm sure, whenever the next loading screen happens between our runs.
I'll talk to you guys
Okay.
soon.
All right.
Yeah, guys.
Okay, see ya, people.
Next time I'll be early.
Bye.
Sorry.